Yeah. OnChain Revolution, you're not bullish enough. OnChain Revolution, you're not bullish enough. Every day we steady looking at the market, and we gon' tell you how to get started. Chain abstraction, fear and greed index, always looking at price action. Roll call in advance, you don't even gotta mention. I swap it in the deck, you're not bullish enough. Traded in the segs, you ain't trenching enough. We do that market recap. Too much Bitcoin, gotta go to rehab. Shizzy and Yagobi. OnChain Revolution, network in the art. Every day we go live, baby, you know where we are. We mention all the networks and the crypto. Need some more liquidity. Flipping and trading is the recipe. Too many protocols to count. I get high and I'm never coming down. Number go up, then I'ma say peace. Yeah, you thought that I was gonna leave. Yeah, we just getting started, man. OnChain Revolution. Every day. Bring the beat back. Eyes everywhere, gotta be careful with volatile meme coins. You can get some bread if you round trip it, then you gon' regret. All this information in my head. BYOR, touch grass instead. Nobody really knows how it's gon' end up today. Somebody gotta tell you what's happening today. I don't let the money change me no way. OnChain Revolution, here to stay. Yeah, Sam Sage, man. Voodoo 2 on the way. Yeah. Nicky's. Yeah. OnChain Revolution. OnChain. Hey, OnChain Revolution. Bitcoin not an illusion. Market recap, then I do a roll call. You're not bullish in the vocal. Look at the price action, yeah, send it to the deck. Yeah, sell it through the stack. Ordinal's the best. Too much Bitcoin, gotta go to read. If you end up bearish, gotta put the knee pad. Let me see the comments. Look at the fear and greed index. Bridge. Look at the chart.
Welcome back to OnChain Revolution. My name is Shizzy on the channel. We're covering the entire Bitcoin crypto ecosystem. What's up, guys? We have an amazing show for you guys today. We're live for the OnChain Hour, and right now we have Bitcoin at 11307, guys. Yes, it's 111,000. Yesterday we reached that all-time high of 112. We actually passed it. We are now at a new all-time high of 12.3. So we passed it by like a few bucks. And even Udi was saying on the timeline, he was like, you guys are all screaming and yelling about a couple bucks all-time high. Higher. We're going higher, guys. And Max Payne right now is telling me higher is going to happen because of the liquidations yesterday. You don't get $500 million of liquidations yesterday on a $300 pass all-time high, right? It's going to show that at 115, we're going to get $1.5 billion in liquidations. It's going to get pretty crazy. If you are short right now, you should be shitting your pants. I'm not even joking with you right now. What is about to happen? All the charts that we've been looking at, all the charts. I mean, we're talking going on to the M2 money supply versus Bitcoin. That is showing higher. Plan B's stock to flow showing higher. DXY dropping, showing Bitcoin price higher, guys. You need to get excited right now because what is about to happen over the course of the next 6 to 12 months, we are going to see an alt season where we have to rename it. It's just going to be crypto season, right? It's going to be exciting. It's going to be different. It's going to be like we've never seen before. And I'm excited, and I think you should be too. So without further ado, bring our partner here, as always. Mr. Yagobi. What's up, buddy?
What's up? What's
What's going on, man? How you feeling today?
I'm feeling great, man. I'm feeling great. Excuse me. I need to clear my throat a little bit. But yeah, yesterday we did hit an all-time high. It was very minimal. You know how I feel about whenever the all-time high gets tagged and then it retraces. Yeah. But typically whenever we do get a really convincing all-time high, you got to kind of play with it, tiptoe around it first, and then you get that next push up. And that's what I'm expecting, whether it's going to happen heading into the weekend or happens maybe to start the next week at the end of Sunday, maybe Monday next week. But I know it's coming, and it's going to be beautiful, and it's going to be well worth the wait.
Yeah, 100%. And yesterday we were both watching it live. It was like 350 when it actually hit, right, 355, and then, you know, you had the market close, and I was calling it. I was sitting there saying, I was like, you know, a lot of these guys, they're just trading this. The ETF guys are just trading this right now, and right at 4 o'clock, just like I said, we dipped back down and never got back over that 112, that 111.9, and we got back in. We went down about 10.6, but we were both kind of expecting a push up overnight. China didn't help us out at all. Are you kind of expecting a push up today?
Well, there was a little bit of a push up, but it wasn't anything that really, you know, pushed it over to where we all felt great about it, right? Like the 12.2, 12.3, 12.500, 112.500, something like that. I don't know if the push up's going to happen today, because if you look at the daily chart, typically when there's a really strong green candle, a red candle kind of follows that, right? So not always, though. You know, and yesterday was a pretty decently strong green candle, I would say. You know, we bumped up about $2,500, $3,000 from where we were ranging, right? That 108, 109. But you know, it could happen. Fridays are really tricky. You know how they've been. You know, Fridays were like bad every Friday consistently until about a couple weeks ago. But the one thing that is still in our favor is obviously the indicator that we talk about all the time here is that M2 money supply. But also, if you look, you zoom out a bit, like the bigger time frames on, you know, from a technical perspective, they look good. They look pretty good, right? Like the weekly looks decent. It looks like there's still life and juice there. The daily doesn't want to exhaust, and you know, so for me, those are the two ones that I look at and say, hey, we still have time in July to hit that new all-time high, to get to that 115 to 130, and I think we do it.
Yeah, I completely agree. You know, and we have a lot of catching up to do, right? Like you just said. This is the chart right here, 108. So now we're about 111, and this line right here is July. So we're about right here now. On this move up here. So we're at 111. Catching up, I mean, it's not that hard. I mean, we get to 116, we're basically caught up. Deviation is over, right? And then potentially we just follow this line here. This is August coming up here, right? So I mean, this line right here is August. So this is the month of July that could potentially be 119, 127, even potentially even 135 is kind of what this is calling for now, right? Like, I mean, who knows, right? But I'm excited for this. I do think the catch up begins, and I think it begins now.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. You look, some of the forecasts that I've seen on the very low, extremely conservative side is saying 180 by, like, you know, getting into Q4. If that's the case, we've got to get to that 120, 130 range, right? And then if we're going to have that drawback, and then we thrust up there. But that's extremely conservative in terms of all the forecasting that I've heard. 180 finish the year. It's really that average of 200, 220, 230 that I've seen the most be out there, right? And then you have some that are on top of it. So for that to happen, we do need to hit levels. And for us to get there, we got to hit that level of 120 to 130 that we've been talking about for the past month and a half, 2 months. And I truly think it's going to happen this month. I could be wrong, but I have a strong feeling. And it looks like there was a little period to where I felt like maybe I'm not right here. Maybe Colin, you know, might be a little bit off with the M2 money supply as well. And it just deviates and it doesn't really come back until way later. But it did look like it came back pretty quickly, and it's still on trajectory for that.
Yeah, 100%. And the fact that Colin was talking about this chart back here, right? I mean, he was talking about it since like February, I think the first time we brought it on our show. And, you know, he's been right. I mean, this has been pretty much following it, right? A little bit deviation, deviation, right? But we've been pretty much following it. I mean, pretty closely, actually, to the point of we need to keep it going. And I think we will, but we'll see.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's kind of get into some today's topic. So whales are buying Bitcoin while you panic sell. $500 million liquidated as banks go full crypto. So let's kind of get into some of this here. So most wallets holding 1 to 10 Bitcoin are selling, but wallets holding 1K to 10K Bitcoin holders remain in strong accumulation mode, meaning they're buying every single day while these little guys are taking profit. Like this is very normal, right? For this type of stuff to happen. It's just like the whales are coming in and they're just eating up all the Bitcoin.
Yeah, to me, this is a really bullish sign because the people that have money know they make. Look, at the end of the day, you can say whatever you want, but the people that the whales they're whales for a reason, right? Maybe a small percentage came into money or whatever, but there's a lot of them that earn their way there, and they make smart decisions. And to me, that smart decision is, hey, I'm buying a lot because I know what's coming up in Q3 and Q4. While the kind of like the tadpoles here, no offense, I mean, if you have 1 to 10 Bitcoin, you're still in pretty good shape. But it reminds me of like, you know, those ordinal days when people would just take profit right away, right? And I feel like, look, they're not in that upper echelon of Bitcoin holdings, right? And so to me, the ones that do have the money, if they're holding, to me, I'm more bullish on that, because the ones that it's going to make more impact.
Let me ask you this though: could the smaller guys be saying, "Hey, like I need to make money this cycle. Let me get out of my Bitcoin," and they're moving this money to alts coins like Ethereum?
Yeah.
We are seeing Ethereum move up. We are seeing stuff like Cardano and XRP kind of get ready here. Do you think a lot of these guys are saying, "I want to be a guy holding 1,000 Bitcoin. Let me get in some alts first, try to get some 10, 100, maybe even 1,000 X's"?
Absolutely. There's levels to this, man. Right. And
Yeah.
so these people that are holding 1 to 10 Bitcoin, they are, in my opinion, a lot of them are offloading, probably going into stable, waiting for that moment to, you know, either stable or Ethereum, and waiting to get into specific alts. Right. So they're the ones that they got to that next level of being able to acquire 1 to 10 Bitcoin, and they want to be able to have 10, 20, 50, 100, you know, get to that next level. They want to be the people that can acquire 1 to 10,000, right? So it's all about levels in this game, and a lot of that has to do with how long you've been in this game, and the education, and if you're learning from your mistakes that you made in the past. So yeah, I agree with you from that perspective, that that's most likely what's happening here.
Yeah, 100%. And, you know, most banks and governments are embracing blockchain. We are seeing, you know, countries hold Bitcoin, right? You got USA, you got China, you got the UK, you got Ukraine, Bhutan, El Salvador. So my question for you is, this time next year, right? Right now we have 6. How many do we have next year? What's your guess? 16? 60?
Ooh, yeah. So I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if we see next year about 30 to 50, around that range, maybe more.
Wow.
Yeah. Um, yeah. So in terms of Bitcoin, I think they're starting to realize that this is an asset that's it's like similar to gold in terms of people are really looking at it as, you know, a little bit of a safe haven. It's starting to become more of that. But so that's obviously bullish for Bitcoin, because I do expect more countries to really come on board with that. And I think eventually, you look 5 years down the line or something like that, it's going to be a lot more. But this as well, like the major banks and governments, like, this reminds me of the Jamie Dimon quotes, which I hate. Bitcoin's just a rock, but like blockchain is like really going to be the future. So without that kind of, you know, cocky and dumb take, I guess you could say, because of the rock part, you know, the blockchain part, he is right about, though. It is a lot of banks and, you know, fintech companies, I think, are going to be adopting it, and they're looking at this as like, hey, why didn't we do this before? Well, it's because you had a dumb SEC chair that was not necessarily dumb, but he was obviously, you know, he's been compromised.
Corrupted.
Yeah, exactly. And now they feel free, like they can let their wings go, right? And so they're like, okay, let's see how we can fit in here. And we're starting to see more and more banks and governments really embrace it. I think 5-10 years down the line, we're going to be looking at a completely, it's going to look foreign, not to maybe us because we know the tech, but a lot of people are going to be like, what? Oh, okay, this is they, like, we are here now. You know, this is kind of like how the internet was. Like, I have a smartphone now. I don't know how I got here, but we're here.
No, 100%. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting, especially in the next couple months, especially when stablecoin. I mean, we're what, a couple days away now from getting stablecoins law pushed in, and I'm hoping that comes sooner. But we'll see. But let's jump into a nearly 500 million liquidated from crypto market. So this is crazy. This is a thing here. So 24-hour wrecked, $436 million in shorts.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, liquidated yesterday. That's insane. One day.
I mean, yeah, it is absolutely insane. You know, that's a, I mean, that's what, like 90%, maybe 85%, something like that, of the entire liquidation was from shorts. And a lot of people were thinking, you know, this is a double top. This is, you know, this is our chance to really, you know, take a strong short position here. And look, it's still that theory is still in play a little bit. But what happened yesterday is if you were hyper aggressive on the downside, you got lit up because you were like, okay, I see it touched 112. It got a new all-time high by $1, $45, whatever that was. It's ready to go down. Yet they were right in the aspect of that. Yes, anytime that happens, whenever you do have like this aggressive push up or push down, they're always going to try to hit stop losses, and that's what happened. But a lot of people got liquidated yesterday, and some of them were more of just had this idea that Bitcoin wasn't going to run in general, even to the 112. And so they got hit. I mean, that was a lot in terms of like the short side. Like it was really unbalanced there. So what happens today? I think, possibly some extra eager longs might get hit today just because we're like, okay, that many shorts got hit yesterday. Probably same thing's going to happen today. I would be very, very careful for today if you're in the trading game, just because, they know what everybody's thinking right now is what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Well, we'll see what happens today. But the ETFs are telling. I mean, we're halfway through. Isn't that crazy? We're already halfway through like the trading session. These guys barely trade, man. It's wild. But let's jump into some news for today. Donald Trump says Fed rate is 3% too high, costing the U.S. $360 billion per point annually, and calls for the immediate and cut of rates. Right. And then Cynthia Loomis actually chimed in. Calls for Jerome Powell to resign. Powell has proven time and time again that he is unfit to run the Fed. He must resign. Now, if you're a Powell at this point, you have the president, you have senators calling for your cut. Do you just ignore it, or do you think Powell even thinks about resigning at this point?
There was rumors yesterday that he resigned, and I think it was just crypto Twitter doing its thing that it always does, right? But remember from last administration, you had Elizabeth Warren really, trying to give it to Powell in terms of why are you not doing this? Why are you not doing that? Now, I don't think she called for his resignation, but this is pretty, strong statement here. So what do I think he thinks? He's probably feels like he doesn't like to constantly hear it, but he also feels like a little bit untouchable until his term is up, right? Until he's able to, until the administration's able to pick somebody else for that position. I don't think he could actually get forced out, right? So that's why they're saying, hey, just resign. And I just don't think you could do that to somebody that's at that age, that's had that much experience and stuff like that, because they're prideful people, right? Like everybody, you're in that position, you worked your way up there, and also you're old, so you're probably hard-headed too, meaning that he's not going to just step down, in my opinion. The only way he could really step down, and this is where the angle changes here, I think they're trying to put him on some sort of negligence type of situation, maybe charge him for negligence with some Fed budget that they got from the government. So they're trying to take that angle and try to push him out that way. I just don't know if it works. If it does, we'll see. I think the rates get cut immediately, probably for the person that replaces them, but we might have to wait until his term is over.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm really curious to see what happens July 30th, right? Because that's the next Fed meeting. But we'll see. ETF flows. So this is really interesting. Around 1.9 thousand Bitcoin and 80,000 Ethereum. 1.9. Yeah, K 109,000. Yeah, okay. We're bought on July 9th. BTC ETF saw 215 million in net inflow. ETH ETF saw $211 million in net inflow. The ETH has been picking up drastically, and it definitely shows you that the ETFs are moving the price. The price does not move a Bitcoin until the stock market opens, and then it stops when the stock market closes, which shows you that it is extremely the amount of ETFs is the only reason Bitcoin's price is going up. And who buys the ETFs? That's TradFi.
Yeah, TradFi has had the largest influence of Bitcoin this cycle. We've known that, and now we're hearing that like it's starting to flow a little bit more into Ethereum. Well, a lot more actually. People are starting to focus.
Yeah.
We'll see. I'm just waiting for that like moment where it's like, okay, now that influence is really kind of taking over Ethereum, because it's kind of what kicked things off with Bitcoin a bit, right? If you think about 2024 in the beginning, once the ETF went live, there was just so much talk about institutions coming in and eventually pumped the price up. So we haven't had that same experience with ETH relating to the ETF. Do we see it? I'm not sure. I think so, right? Because we've seen what they've been able to do with the BTC side. When you have the likes of Tom Lee coming in saying they're selling their entire BTC holdings to pour into ETH, like there has to be a moment of like hyper aggressiveness, and I think we're all waiting for that. We've seen ETH wake up a bit recently, but we're all waiting for, like, you know, the gunshot when the horses can really, you know, the cage is open and stuff where they can start taking off.
Yeah, 100%. The only thing concerning to me though is the people that are buying ETFs, right? They're the guys over in TradFi, and it doesn't seem like, you know, normal crypto guys are buying right now. Maybe we're all holding, you know, at this point, right? Like, it's that's the only thing that's scary. It's just you're not seeing, you know, you're not seeing regular people really buy this stuff right now. Like, when does that happen? And then ETFs are, it's mainly, honestly, 70-80% of the ETF buying is probably these big corporate companies, right? These big, like these like, what are they called? The hedge funds and stuff, right? It's not like your normal mom and pop saying, hey, let me add a little bit to this. I don't know when this comes.
Yeah, but also you have to remember what they did on the Bitcoin side. And I'm not saying
Yeah.
retail didn't buy Bitcoin. Retail did buy Bitcoin. Retail seems to be a little bit scared of Ethereum, right? But definitely more institutions bought Bitcoin
Yeah.
during that whole run in 2024, leading up to where we are now. They're the ones that are constantly in the headlines buying so much. So I do think that the institutions can push Ethereum. And the one thing that I do agree with what you just said was there's a lot of whale bag holders for ETH right now. You know, if you remember last cycle, I mean, the ETH personalities have been crickets on crypto Twitter. You know, that either a couple small percentage probably shifted over to Solana, which, you know, probably smart, took advantage of opportunity there. But the ones that were loud last cycle, they're not loud right now. And I think it's going to take ETH waking up a bit for them to start, you know, getting loud again on crypto Twitter. But, you know, probably have a lot of bag holders for sure on the ETH side. But the institutions can override that, I think, because they can buy enough ETH to where even if bag holders do, you know, sell at 5,000-6,000 or whatever, they're looking to dump at 4,500, 5,000. The institutions can kind of continually push that up, because that happened on Bitcoin side.
Yeah.
You know, retail started selling down once Bitcoin started hitting these new all-time highs and levels and stuff. So I think it's going to be one of those pent-up demand type situations with Ethereum. I really hope so, because that could be an exciting situation in general, to where everybody's like, finally the floodgates have been open for Ethereum, and let's see how it can have a trickle down effect.
Yeah, 100%. I'm really looking forward to some bullish times, man. Whether it's this summer or this fall, I definitely do think it happens. But moving along here, Tether minute 1 billion USDT this morning on Tron. 1 billion. So normally it's about 100 million, 200 million. That mint is just over 1%. So they've minted 1% of all of Tron's USDT in one morning. Tron now holds $76 billion USDT, while Ethereum only holds 62 billion of Ethereum out of the full 156 on all the chains. All the chains. So it's crazy that, you know, a little under 50% is Tron and growing.
Yeah, but where's, you know, we hear about all these stable coins being, you know, minted and poured into these ecosystems. And if you think about it from just like a printing standpoint from the federal government, like you get excited, but like I feel like there's so much that's just sitting there. What is it for? What is it for? Is it for these institutions? I mean, like, you know, is there going to be, are they waiting for Ethereum? Are they waiting for Ethereum to kind of, you know, take off, and then they will start to pour into different assets? Man, this is every day.
Yeah.
We're hearing either USDC being
on
like
Solana.
hundreds of millions being printed on Solana, or now USDT. I mean, $1 billion. That's a lot.
I know, it's insane. And look at this, right? So this is Tron. 5.131 is the total locked in DeFi. And I just said Tron holds 76 billion. Where is the $71 billion in stablecoin? Like, what is it doing? They're not in DeFi. They're not in Justin Land. They're not in Sun. They're not in any of these. Maybe staked USDT, right? It's only 58 million. They're not even staking it. Like, what are they doing with $71 billion in USDT if it's not in DeFi? Like, where is it?
Yeah, I'm
Is it
not
getting
sure.
ready? Like, I don't understand this. I just don't understand.
Yeah, I mean, I don't either. The only thing that I can think of is, there's all these institutions know, and the stablecoin companies know that there's going to be these products that come from TradFi or something that's going to
Yeah.
happen during the bull market, to where they're having all this stable ready. You know what I mean, for infrastructure or something. That's the only thing I can think of, because I mean, it's just crazy. Every single day, there's more and more stable coin that's being printed in, and if you think about it, that's like that's like whenever the Fed prints dollars, right? It's like, obviously, they're backing it in their ways with the stable coins, but you would
Well,
think
the
that's.
Fed doesn't print dollars, though.
I mean, they're putting more
Yeah.
money into the
Yeah.
system, is what I mean.
Yeah, because the Fed will create bonds and sell the bonds into, well, yeah, they'll sell the bonds into the market, right? So that's kind of how money is created. It's from people taking on U.S. debt, issuing debt is what the Fed does, and so it's kind of hard to push the two, right? Because like it's just kind of like this money now is just sitting on the sidelines. What is it doing? Is it preparing itself? Like I guess you could say the same thing about Warren Buffett, right? Because he has about $800 billion in cash right now
But when
that
he
they're not doing
deploys,
nothing with. I mean,
that, and when he allocates
he's
it,
he's been sitting on it since 2020
yeah,
when he
but
got out of most of his positions.
I feel like if you're putting more stable into the crypto sphere, that's intentional. They're doing something for a that's with Warren Buffett. Obviously, he's trying to be on the sidelines. He's selling his stock into, just cash, right? So over here, they're not necessarily selling tokens into cash. They're minting these tokens to be on the sideline,
Yeah.
which to me is, it could be either, instantly, I think that this is like a juicy situation eventually that's waiting to erupt like a volcano.
Yeah, I mean, is Warren Buffett waiting for a black swan? Are these guys waiting for a black swan? Are they just sitting there and they're like, okay, we're being told a crash is coming, right? So
That's
let's
not
just sit
good.
and wait for it. Like, it's a little scary. It's a little scary there for sure. All right. Next thing here. So Bit mining to convert holdings of Bitcoin and Ethereum to Sol and raise up to 300 million for a Solana focused strategy. So I looked into what Bit mining is. It's a China-based public crypto mining firm focusing on proof of work mining, data center operations, and manufacturing mining machines. Bit mining isn't ending the POW operations. Per the July 10th newswire, it's reallocating some of the treasury to Sol and raising 300 million to build the Solana staking thing. So what is going on with these proof of work companies now? I mean, what do you think is going through their head now? I mean, this is a China-based company. Go ahead.
Passive income.
But aren't you getting that with, I guess not, because if you're holding Bitcoin, you're not getting passive income. But if you sell it all,
and if you're a mining company, you have to pay into the energy, right? And so they're looking at these proof of stake networks that are, I guess, as formidable as you could be, because
yeah,
with fundamentalists, they're always going to pick proof of work. But like, if you're talking about the big names, the Ethereums, the Solanas, they feel like that's not going to go down overnight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they're gonna shoot for that 6% that they don't have to put into energy costs, right? Yeah, they have to risk putting up their assets to earn that. But I mean, that's kind of how big rich people like to make money, is to use their money to make more money. And if you can do it passively, even better.
But why do you think they chose Sol over Ethereum? They can do the same thing with these.
Maybe, I don't know. I don't know what the APRs or what the rates are for Solana versus ETH. I know
It's about the
ETH is,
same. It's not much more.
I hear 6% with Ethereum a lot. Solana, I'm not sure. Maybe they have more confidence in the protocol that they're going to be utilizing. I'm not sure, honestly, but there has to be some reasons why they go with these. Maybe they're getting offered a little bit more because there's not as many participants.
Okay, so Solana is 7.3, and Ethereum is 6 something. So that, I mean, 1%, but
That's a
still, I
lot
mean,
at 300 million.
but if you're saying maybe Solana already ran and Ethereum hasn't, that could be enough. You know what I mean? That's kind of why I think a lot of these companies are going into Ethereum right now, because it's like if these Ethereum's been held back while Solana's been gaining, on ETH, right? So, but we'll see. I think it's still good. I think it's still good that seeing people come from Bitcoin into some of these altcoins is still a good thing, especially for potential alt season that we truly are hoping for at this point. So. Next thing here, KuCoin passes proof of reserves audit. BTC, ETH, USDT, and USDC all over 100%, marking 32 months of full backing. So KuCoin was one of those when FTX went down that was being questioned, right? There was a Gate.io is another one. And it does feel good to see these exchanges say, hey, we are good. There's no issues with us. We are one of the good ones. And KuCoin, no, they're fully transparent right now.
Yeah, they are. This is good that they passed this and it clears them because I feel like they're like a centralized exchange and they're known for their trading platform with perps and leverage, but
Yeah.
they've always been in that mid tier. They haven't really been able to kind of rise above that or even fall too much below it. But this actually gives them more credibility. So kudos to them for passing the proof of reserves audit.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Bitwise reports corporate BTC holdings surged to 847K Bitcoin worth 91 billion. So the companies have 91 billion dollars of a Bitcoin. So these are the top 5. Obviously, MicroStrategy is a majority of that with close to 600K. Mara Holdings at 49, 21 with 37. I don't know what 21 is. I got to look into them. But Riot Platforms is a the Bitcoin mining company, 19,000, and then Metaplanet, the only non-crypto company besides strategy to kind of showcase this. But I mean, if you're a company, right, and you're looking at this and you're like, wow, all these companies right now are just going into Bitcoin and they're all making out like bandits while we're just sitting on cash, which is, month to month is dropping, 2% with inflation or year to year. What do you think, man? Do you think we're about to see a huge amount of companies come out and report crypto holdings this upcoming reporting cycle of Q2?
I expect some more to probably report that they've gotten involved with Bitcoin more, but the thing that sticks out to me is the 3 mining companies that are sandwiched in between Strategy and Metaplanet because
Yeah.
not only are they not selling down their mined Bitcoin, they're acquiring more. And these companies, they're very strategic, previous cycles in terms of selling Bitcoin down, pay for expenses, cost. They said, no, we're not doing that. We're not, we feel like we know where it's heading. So to me, this is bullish that there's 3 mining companies in the top 5 here.
Yeah.
But also there isn't a ton of participants from outside the mining industry. But I do think I think we see more. I think it's gonna be hard to catch up with some of these, but we probably see some smaller figures at first and then start to build up.
Yeah, 100% agree. Stan says, is Arch well, first off, thank you, Stan. Appreciate you, man. 2 days in a row, absolutely amazing. He said, is Arch network open or closed source? If they process computation off chain, is that a security risk? So they're not so they're not computation off chain. What they're doing is they're running a Solana chain, right? But they're actually rolling up the transactions and then putting them in a Bitcoin block. So they're finalizing those transactions on the Bitcoin blockchain. You want to hit on this?
Yeah, so the computation is not happening on Bitcoin's blockchain, but it is happening on their blockchain, which they'll have a block explorer, and you can see exactly. It'll be very transparent, right? It's they're not going to be using like it's really weird because the way that you look at meta protocols, they use like an off-chain indexer that's not living on Bitcoin, and then that reads and is able to perform logic in terms of what's being put into on Bitcoin, right? This is, I guess, this in a similar way, except for its own chain. So like, there's going to be so much transparency with that. Like, the block explorer will be there just like Sol Explorer and Ether. What's it called? What's the ETH scan or Ether scan, stuff like that, like where you're going to be able to see all the transactions. And if you don't know what you're doing on the meta protocol side, it's kind of you got to really know what you're doing. You can find that stuff that's related to the off-chain indexer. But anyways, is it open or a closed source? I'm not sure. It might be closed right now until they go mainnet. But I do believe they've said multiple times once they go mainnet, they're going to make it open source, right? Because they want builders to be able to add innovation and stuff like that, right? So yeah, hopefully that answers your question. And if you say, is that a security risk? Well, I mean, any layer 2 that's doing stuff that's away from, I mean, I know like with Ethereum, they have smart contracts that can communicate, but I don't think it's not as much of a security risk as something like Lightning, right? Or something like that. So I think it's the best that we could do with what we have with Bitcoin's limitations.
Yeah, 100%. He says, if Arch pulls off the unthinkable, will that spell the end for all projects? If so, this is huge and needs more attention for people to save themselves from destruction. So I don't think you understand Arch like fully. Arch just wants to make Bitcoin blocks faster. So using Arch, you're going to be able to basically buy ordinals, buy runes like 30 seconds, right? Which is going to allow people that are building Solana projects to actually build on Bitcoin now, which kind of opens up more stuff. So if you're asking if the layer 1 projects are going to get hit hard by this, I mean, potentially, right? Like, do you think like people that are building for layer 1 Bitcoin are going to get hurt by this? I just can see an easy way of maybe adding Arch into the process, but
Yeah,
I don't
so
think they're going to get destruction.
Yeah, so the meta protocols that are built there can actually interact with Arch. They're going to be able to, as long as Arch on their side can detect the assets in the Bitcoin wallet, then there'll probably be somebody that builds for it on Arch or whatever, right? So I don't think it's going to affect necessarily meta protocols on Bitcoin. Where it could take a lot of attention away from is the scaling solutions that are attempting to, have solutions for this major pain point, and that's computation with Bitcoin assets. And so if Arch becomes the home base, then the other guys like these other ICP and Near and Cardano, they're just going to have to really provide something that's very unique that Arch can't really offer, I think, to stay relevant in that aspect. But we'll see what this comes down to, because at the end of the day, I think Arch is trying to do that. They're trying to be the home base. They're trying to be the, hey, you want to trade Bitcoin stuff, come here.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people that are trying to do that right now.
Yeah, exactly. Think of Arch though as base chain, right, for Ethereum, right? Like it's not running, it's not like a competitor to Ethereum, right? It's just another option for you to use it in a faster face environment with cheaper fees. Same thing with Arch. It's very similar to what Arbitrum and Optimism are doing for Ethereum. Arch is trying to do for Bitcoin. Simple and easy.
Exactly. And base exists and Arbitrum exists and optimism exists. And so that you can coexist in this environment. You can coexist here. You just got to find your niche. And what Arbitrum has seemed to be doing is service, big brands to help them get set up with their layer 3s or whatever you want to call them. So that's business though, guys. So I think at the end of the day, it's really going to come to like a fundamentals of business. How is your approach or your business model relevant? And those are the people that are going to survive.
Yep. But let's jump into the crypto fear and greed here. So last week we were at 54. Yesterday we were at 52. My hint for you, we're a lot higher, but not in the 60s.
58.
Boom, right on the.
Oh, I didn't even look at
it. So we're at 58. I don't feel this.
Every single day he's like, I don't feel 54. I don't feel
like
58.
It doesn't. I understand this was last night, right? But I feel like we should be in the 60s. Like I feel like we should be higher, because like Bitcoin hit all-time high yesterday, and you're sitting there and you're telling me 58. Like that doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, but remember, again, it was one of those tag kind of all-time highs.
But still, all-time high is all-time high. You should be excited. You should be greedy.
Well, I mean, okay, let me ask you this. So whenever there's an all-time high that hits and it goes thousands of dollars over, it feels much better, right? It feels more like you could take a deeper breath. But whenever you do tag like literally like $50 over, even $100 over, you're just kind of like, yes, we're there, we made it. And then it's like it's almost kind of like the celebration that is not really a big celebration. Shouldn't be a big celebration. You
You
know,
can't tell me 58 is fair though for an all-time high. Come on, 70,
where
68
was it the day
minimum.
before?
52.
I think getting to 60 would have been
Dude,
fair.
this just shows me there's no excitement in the crypto markets. There's no excitement at all.
I
right
mean,
now.
I'm just giving you my
Nobody's
opinion.
excited about Bitcoin hitting all-time high.
I'm excited if Bitcoin hits 115. If it hits 115, I think like we should get a 65. If we hit 115,
65 is still super low for an all-time high.
Well,
But
I
hold on.
mean,
Just for my point, back in 2020, when Bitcoin crossed 13,000, right? I remember it was the most exciting time ever. When it hit 19,000, you couldn't breathe. It was just absolutely insanity, and we're just not getting that right now. But that was all retail driven. There was no ETFs.
Oh, okay. So this, I don't know if this is a good example though. Let's just say your favorite food, whatever it is, like a Philly cheesesteak or like
Where
a
are we
pizza.
going with this?
Well, just hear me out. Hear me out.
All right,
Like your favorite sandwich ever, right? And your mom says, "Hey, I got your favorite sandwich," and you're supposed to go visit her, and you go over there, and she's like, "Here you go," and she gives you like just a barely small little bite, and she takes it away, and she's like, "Okay, I got to give it." She throws it away or whatever, and you're just like, "What the," Or you get to sit there and eat like the whole thing or half of it, and then you're just like you enjoy. That's the analogy that I feel about touching that all-time high real quick versus basking in it. You bask in it, you're over a couple thousand, you like, okay, we're at 114. I feel good. I'm not worried about like dipping down below 111 right now. You know what I mean? But when you tag it, you're just like, will we ever reach it again? Because last summer we did that. We did that a lot. We would tag like that all-time high and then retrace like $6,000.
Think about what you're saying right now. Bitcoin's over 111 and we're neutral. We're neutral right now.
Because we've seen it. We've been here.
It's frustrating. Like it really is. Like it's just I don't get it. We should be in awe right now. We should all be excited. It just shows you once again that it's just hedge funds that are buying. That's it. No one else is buying this shit. No one else.
I mean, who has
because hedge funds they go home at 4 o'clock. They're not trading at 8 o'clock when this number goes through, right? So volumes drop drastically, and that's the thing too. All the Bitcoin crypto volumes are all off chain, like they're all done centralized exchanges. We're not even seeing the volume on chain anymore.
Yeah, well, I mean, it sounds like you're saying all the normies are broke and poor, and the ones that
I'm not saying they're broke and poor. I'm saying they don't give a shit. They don't care. They don't care about Bitcoin. They don't. Like they think
believe in something.
They don't. They think they missed it. They say this is for the rich, and that's scary. That's scary for a crypto cycle right now.
It is, but then why aren't they pouring into the stuff that could make them? Like for example, like Ethereum's still cheap enough. If you go to Sol's cheap enough. If you go down the line, so maybe it's not just that they feel like they missed the boat on Bitcoin, but maybe that they're broke.
They think the other stuff's just a scam. That's what I get from a lot of people, right? They think, oh, Bitcoin made it, but I missed Bitcoin, and all the other stuff's a scam. That's kind of what I see on TikTok, right? Except XRP. They all believe that XRP is this godsend product, but they're not even buying that. I'm seeing the volume with that.
It's
going to
be
bags, though.
It's going to $10,000 next week.
Oh wow! Next week, all right, all in, baby, all in.
Tuesday.
Well, let's get into Tuesday. This Tuesday, let's get into that Bitcoin price action brought to you guys by Artura. Artura, they're set to go live soon, guys. It's going to happen. We talked to them yesterday. They're excited. Let's just say some congratulations were said, and they're going to be going live very, very soon, guys. Really excited for this team. Really excited for these guys here, and they are backed by absolutely amazing people here. So definitely want to check out Artura.finance because you're going to be able to make out, guys. We do know their TGE is very soon. So when this thing does launch, we want our community to try to make out as much as you possibly can. Get as many points as you can. Go over to 2100 a Bitcoin. Let me get that for you guys. It's 2100. Go to here because there's going to be massive amount of things you guys are going to be able to do. We're going to be doing a tutorial on how to actually get started with Artura, how to max earn. We want you guys to be a part of this. They're going to be on here right now. There's a few of them that just dropped. The Pallium. What's this called? Pallium?
Palindum. Yeah, I think.
Paladin, whatever that is, but they're a project there where it allows you to borrow against your Bitcoin and stuff like that. But you're gonna be able to get the USDP and then use that. But we're gonna walk you guys 100% through how to do everything. We want you guys to use Artura because of the possibility of gaining for doing nothing, low money, low leverage. You guys gonna make out the people that are early. The people who play on next week and the week after and the week after that are going to make out the best. You're going to want to get that ARA airdrop. You're going to want to potentially get some Bitcoin from these guys over at Botonics. And then just remember, too, they are going to be launching on Hemi as well. Hemi has already said that they're going to be doing a token airdrop to users of the Hemi chain using Artura over there, potentially get you that. They're backed by Binance. Guys, get excited. Get excited for this project and check out Artura.finance.
Absolutely, guys. But before we get into the Bitcoin price action, help us out on this YouTube side. Smash that like, subscribe to the channel, turn your notifications on so you know when we go live. And on the X side, share the space, guys. Let's get as many people in here. Hit that like too. Give us that support, and we thank you so much for always supporting us. And then Abstract as well. Share that stream link if you don't mind. But let's get in some Bitcoin price action here. All right, let me remove your 2100 A Bitcoin world so I can share mine. There we go. All right, hour chart is where we're starting. Let me zoom in here as much as I can. All right, cool. Looks like a little bit, possibly a bull flag. Will we get that? I hope so. I really do. All right, let's take a look here at the stochastic RSI. Looks like it wants to bounce up out of oversold territory. We are sitting at like 39, which 20 is the oversold territory. So looks like it does want to drag it up here, which is good because we have seen a bit of a sell down, right? We're still sitting at 111,300. So it's not like we're dumping super hard. The all-time high was at 112,142. And that was hit yesterday. So what are we seeing on the MACD? We're seeing some exhaustion on the sell pressure side. So hopefully we continually, see this to, drown out here. And we see a good bounce back today. The one thing is that we hit that 12,145, right? We tagged it. I'm in the camp that like I said before, 115, 130 this month. So when does that happen? We're sitting at the 10th. So we got 20 days left, right? I hope I hope we end the week bullish, but if we don't, I don't think we dump hard. I think we stay around the range 109 to 111. And then possibly next week will be that week to really rev things up. If you look at that historical DXY chart that Shizzy showed this week, around July 15th through like the 25th is that time frame that every cycle the DXY decides to dump, and that's when things kick off, right? We'll see if it happens again this year. You got to say, hey, that's an indicator we got to look at every cycle, right? And if it does happen, it could be around that range. Next week's going to be the 15th. We got CPI data that could come in hot, so just hang on for a little bit. If we don't get another all-time high this week, it'll be okay. We still have enough time for the rest of this month. So for the second half of today, if this does play out to be a bull flag, maybe we start to see, maybe it goes down a little bit more and then we pop back up. But it does look like the sell pressure is starting to exhaust. I'd like to see this curl up a little bit more. But yeah, so I'm kind of just watching the price action here on the hour chart for the next 4 to 6 hours. I would hope that this plays out, but we had such a bullish day yesterday. I'm not sure if we have enough buy pressure today. We might need to take a break, and then maybe we get a bullish Friday. That doesn't happen typically, or at least this summer it hasn't been that way. So let's take a look at the 4-hour chart here. Let me get out of this. I don't know why it's not letting me come out of here. Am I frozen? Can you hear me, Shizzy? Okay. Just want to make sure. Okay, cool.
Yeah, you're good.
All right. All right. So let's take a look here at the 4. I don't know what happened with that. Taking a look here at the 4-hour chart here. So we're still in the buy pressure for the MACD right here. So this is still opened up here. So it does give me some hope that that 1 hour can kind of close up, then we can kind of bust this back open. If we do get bullish today, though, don't be shocked if we do see some aggressive buy pressure to finish the week off. Honestly, sometimes we do get back to back to kind of get that like good cushion for that all-time high that I was talking about. Maybe we get to 115 this week, and then next week is whenever we have that journey that takes us between 120 and 130. So that could very much happen. Let's see what happens here the next 4 to 6 hours, the next candle we get here, because we're looking okay for the 4-hour setup. I like the way it looks there. Let's take a look at the daily chart. Everything is loading so slow, so appreciate you guys' patience here, but I'm having to reset the trading view here. All right, taking a look here at the daily for Bitcoin, and you can see yesterday was obviously a good day. It bounced us back up here. I mean, this chart looks really good right here, right? So we'll see if the Bollinger Band stays open. That would be ideal. This would be a really good thing. That means we can continue up here. So the daily looks great. Peeking in here on the weekly. Weekly looks like we're starting, we're rebounding out of kind of the exhaustion there. We could see another leg up starting to form, right? If we get a really good candle to end this week on Sunday, we could start the second part of this leg. And if you look here, this is really bullish. If you look at the pattern here, you can see that where we are right here looks very similar to where we were right here, doesn't it? I mean, almost identical right there, right? So this was in December to end 2023, beginning of 2024. So we could start our next weekly leg candle, either this week or next week, and get a big one to kind of have this continuation up. That would be really awesome. Let's see if that happens. But this almost looks identical right here. So we'll see if that plays out. I like the setup there. Oh, I got rid of my crypto bubbles. I'm going to take a look here at the crypto bubbles for the alt market. I might need to get a new computer too, man. I feel like my computer's aging. All right, the daily looks pretty good. M has made it to the top 100. Wow.
Oh my God.
What? All right, now I'm intrigued. Now I'm intrigued. Okay, so we got to figure out what M is. Meme core. Interesting. I got to look up meme core. Huh. It's on Kraken, Mexi, Bybit, and whatever. What is this? Bing X. Up 62.3%. So if you guys are in on meme core, comment and let us know, chat, what's going on with that. PENGU is up 31.4%. Jeez. Oh, they had that news. I don't know if you have it in the thing, but they filed for an ETF or something like that.
Really?
PENGU. Yes.
Well,
yes.
Well, Cointelegraph didn't cover that at all. But there's no big players covering that.
So I saw it in my timeline here. Let me double check, but yeah, so I don't know if it was an ETF or it was PENGU ETF acknowledged by SEC. So this kind of makes sense now. The 31.4% increase. Wow, that's a huge increase. So congratulations.
Why didn't anyone report on that? Like, why wasn't that in any?
I'm not sure.
CoinDesk,
honestly.
nothing.
Yeah, that's a big accomplishment though. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, they recognized it. I don't know what that.
What's the ETF for? An NFT ETF? Is that even ever a thing?
PENGU, the token.
The PENGU, the token. So a meme coin was acknowledged by the SEC.
Yeah.
Wow.
ETF.
Okay.
Well, Doge has been acknowledged.
Yeah,
before,
that's true.
So, but that was Doge is kind of in a class of its own, as we know.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, going on here, some other memes. Bonk is up 12.4%. You got Pepe up 7.5%. Some utility stuff here. Hyperliquid up 7.1%. Floki, people were talking about that on the timeline too. Floki's making a bit of a bounce back here. Maybe that's a sign that the ETH community is starting to wake up. Immutable X up 5.4%. AVAX up 4.7%. Fartcoin, our infamous Fartcoin, is up 11.4%. So let's see if that starts to trend again for the following day. Let's take a look at the top 200 here. We got MOG up 14.4%. Bananas 31 is still hot. It's up 22.8%. We got Peanut up 12%. Toshi up 8.2%. Dog up 2.5%. Dog Army, what is up? Eigenlayer up 6.6%. Core up 1.8%. And that is going to wrap up the altcoin crypto bubbles and Bitcoin price action.
Yeah, man. Let's jump into the roll call here. Let's see who is here on this channel first. We like to take the first comment of the day and mark that down. It looks like Webdro did it again, man. 32 of the year. Let me actually show it here. So Webdro, congratulations, you, my friend. You have win number 32 on the year, 3 days in a row. Catching up to Lackey Luke. Lackey still has 34. You're still 2 behind him, but it's been a battle between Webdro and Lackey Lukey for a while now. Ever since Lackey Lukey really caught up. So yeah, man. And then Danny Boy with 26, but still anyone's game, guys. We're giving away a Bitcoin frog valued at $700 right now. The winner will be picked on December 31st at around 1 o'clock. So definitely want to check that out. I mean, you're already going to know who's going to win this at this point, but I want to see someone else maybe climb in here and potentially get these ranks. But absolutely awesome to see Webdro and Lackey. Awesome, guys. And then at number 2 spot, we got Tim Baker, AODR himself, my guy. Appreciate you, my friend. Merlin's Lucky is here. Shout out to Merlin's Lucky. Hydro Sapien every single day, buddy. Appreciate you. Pump up the volume, he says. Crypto, please. Yes, I hope so. We need a pump in volume. Like, the price is cool, but we need some freaking volume to come in. Hydro Sapien said we need Omega candles. That would be cool. Lucky Lukey says congrats, Webdro. I equals X is here. He said it is time. Chota Satoshi's here. That we hit new all-time highs. Yes, we did. For a very short period of time. Rare Sats Dom is here. Then we got PJNZ. He says been absent a while. Just checking in. New all-time high. Let's go. Yes, peanut butter jelly time. Appreciate you, my friend. Thank you so much for being here today. Bitcoin is truth this year. Or OnChain Revolution. Abstract is here every single day, guys. Chips and Dip is here. Vader time. Spindrift, Satoshi Nakamoto, K99, Chief Axel, my guy. Toast is here. Shout out to Toast. I think we're going to be talking to you later, man. So that should be cool. Ricky Ricardo is here. He's like, do you think XRP will be worth more than Bitcoin? No, not at all. Considering it's poised the chosen crypto ice. No, none of that, bro. I think XRP is doing great things with the RLUSD and doing deals with YM Melon and all that stuff. But no, you want to answer this?
I mean, there's something called supply and demand that just you got to put that the equation in there, right? I think maybe you're hanging on the usage of it. Possibly is that where you're getting in the total market cap. I just don't see that it could ever catch up to it. So no.
Dumbo says GM Ghosty cooking guys, you need to invite them. Ghosty ghosted the ecosystem, bro. I mean, there's no excuse for just kind of floating away, no tweets, nothing. So it's hard to even take them seriously at this point. Stan says if Arch pulls off, okay, we read that already, but yeah, shout out to you guys, man. Every single one of you guys who makes a roll call each and every day. It means so much to us. Thank you guys. But we're gonna jump along here. So moving on. All right, so where were we? Okay, so BNB Chain completed its 30-second quarterly burn, removing 1.59 BNB worth around $1 billion out of circulation, burning it forever. BNB Chain does this quarterly. Pretty nuts to think about $1 billion of BNB every quarter. Deflationary.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, you got to appreciate this kind of stuff, right? Similar to what Hyperliquid is doing on a smaller scale, obviously, but smaller scale. So I mean, to me, if I'm a BNB holder, I love this. The fact that they're putting this out there to because it attracts potential investors.
Yeah. 100%. I mean, and the fact that it's deflationary. It's more deflationary than ETH at this point because it is getting these fees. I don't know where this BNB. I mean, it is. It's more.
I know. It's funny because that was where they hung their hat. So that big ass hat, they hung that on there. They're like, transactions are gonna make the burn. It's gonna be deflationary. Yeah. Ultrasound money. Unfortunately, not happening.
On July 9th, 2025, the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission officially acknowledged Canary Capital section. And I got this from ChatGPT, filing it for a spot, PENGU ETF, kicking off a 21-day public comment period. So now we have 21 days to comment on this. Do it. Like, I just don't get this. Like, what? I understand Doge, I do, but PENGU, it just seems like they're acknowledging everything at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, bro. Like, you gotta hand it to Luca Nets how, like, he's probably behind this whole thing. Like, the guy gets stuff done. The guy gets stuff done. He gets stuff done. I mean,
100%.
People might say, well, the streaming platform isn't necessarily, you know, as crazy as we thought. Give the first of all, that's not an easy lift at all. Number one.
Yeah.
Number two, it's growing. And come back 2 years and see. I bet you abstract streaming is gonna be popular.
Yeah, I think so too. I really do. I think everyone should be trying to stream over there if you are a streamer at all. So moving along here though, Circle taps OKX to boost USDC liquidity with direct dollar ramps for over 60 million exchange users. So it looks like Circle is kind of pushing their way into the Chinese markets here. Jack Ma backed Ant Group will integrate Circle's USDC into the global payment platform. This is the first stablecoin Ant Group is integrating. So how crazy is it they're integrating Circle's USDC but not USDT here? Jack Ma's Ant Group is Chinese based.
Do you know Jack Ma? He's the Jack Ma. He was the founder of
Jeff Bezos of Ant Group, right?
Alibaba. He was the Alibaba guy. Yeah, so that's just bullish, dude. Like those big figures in China are like, okay, we have to do this. You know, this is a part of like innovation. If we don't, we get left behind. Names like that, when you start to see that, just it's happening. The mass migration is happening.
It's getting crazy because you're gonna be able to buy, I mean, you know, items all off of their platform with USDC. It's gonna be crazy. I mean, it's only a matter of time before Bezos and stuff adds this to where a QR code pops up and you'll have a choice of credit card, debit card, stable coin, or something else, and you potentially buy right from your MetaMask. So that's really awesome. I think we're about to enter a world of on-chain purchases. I mean, that's what I would love. I can't wait for that. Moving along here though, Truth Social tests a TV plan with premium content and gem rewards. Gems earned through engagement will link to a utility token. So Truth Social has quietly rolled out its public beta of its Patriot package TV plan, $9.99 a month subscription, offering access to 12 premium non-woke new channels. I like how they add that in. As part of this beta, subscribers accumulate digital gems based on their engagement, watch time, comments, and other on-platform activity, which are credited to the Truth Social accounts. In the near future, those gems won't just be badges of loyalty. They'll be convertible into utility token that can be used across the Truth Social and streaming arm, Truth Plus. Initial use cases will likely include paying for subscriptions, unlocking exclusive events, and accessing premium features with broader ecosystem applications to follow. What do you think about this? It sounds pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie. Truth Social.
I mean, are you forcing people to watch non-woke news?
I mean, they're not forcing you, but they're saying they're incentivizing you to do so.
I mean, I guess it's pretty cool that they're utilizing the kind of standard protocol of how projects airdrop and earn XP and stuff like that, right? This is going to be the new loyalty programs, though. I mean, it is. Yeah, I know that's not like a one-to-one comparable example, but it will be used as that as well. Like, it's a way to give back, right? And this is going to be a global universal method in the future. You're always going to earn some sort of XP and then get an airdrop of something. And that makes it easier because it actually makes things easier for people to have to constantly think of, you know, give backs or whatever, you know, with their loyalty program, scan this card or whatever. Now you just get like an airdrop of something, which you could use for, you could sell it. You might not get as much cash for this specific token. This token, you might get more than you thought. You get what I'm saying? Depending on the brand and the loyalty program or the way they're doing it. But this is unique, and it's pretty cool that they are coming into like Web3 culture, because that's what this is.
Yeah, it's genius, dude. Whoever thought of this is genius. Because now, like, think about the future. When I watch something on TV, I'm getting airdropped, right? Just from watching, I'm getting gems for making comments on the
Gems.
channel. I'm getting gems, right? Potentially whatever this is, right? And then I could go and take that to Coinbase potentially and sell it for USDC or USDT, right? I mean, at the same time, someone's going to want these gems if they're going to be paying for this subscription. Maybe they get a discount for paying in gems, right? So there's going to be opportunities there. But imagine in the future, let's just say you go buy a stake, right? And you pay USDC. Then all of a sudden you wake up the next morning and you have an airdrop of stake token in your wallet, right? That is redeemable for your next stake. Like that is the ultimate like reality. I mean, we're headed that way. Airdrops of, instead of getting like Walmart points, you're going to be getting airdrops of coins that are redeemable for the products that you already buy. I mean, this is a whole other way of using crypto that I never even thought of.
Yeah, because it's way more versatile, right? Think about it, like gift cards, you're stuck in one way. You are two ways. You can either use it at the store or sell it for less on eBay, right? Or something like that. With these type of airdrops or loyalty tokens or utility tokens that you earn, you have multiple ways, right? For example, there could be, the company could do an exclusive thing and be like, if you hold this token, you can get into the new PS5. You can be in line for the PS5 drop or the PS6 drop or whatever. Or then they can say you can stake this token if you want to earn more of this, or you can sell it to somebody that maybe wants to buy it for a little bit cheaper. So you just have so many different options this way than the traditional gift card or loyalty program, right? So it becomes more valuable as like a loyalty asset, if you want to call it that, or whatever it is you're earning this token, right? So I actually love that we're kind of, society's heading towards this, because it just makes being loyal that much more incentivized.
Yeah, 100%. Imagine playing like PlayStation and then getting airdropped Sony tokens, and those Sony tokens are eligible for you to buy another game, right? Like 6,000 Sony tokens. So you can sit there and you're just, you're playing your game, whatever, you're streaming Call of Duty, or you're just playing whatever, and then potentially you're getting airdrop Sony tokens or Microsoft tokens, and those tokens are redeemable for a game. So you're giving to people who use your stuff, your hardcore users. You're giving them back for using their system. So that makes them be like, you know what? I'm a Microsoft guy. I love Microsoft, because you're playing and you're earning.
Royalty.
And I think that's the world we're about to live in, because AI is about to take over a lot of jobs, right?
Yeah.
It really is. So being able to do things later and earning crypto airdrops for doing that, I think is just a new way of life.
Yeah, you're right, and it makes it fair for the distribution too. Like, for example,
does.
I know like Nike has that app that is like to where you get the sneakerheads and stuff where they drop. It's so hard, like you got to time it and all this stuff, and it's really not fair, because people actually have like bots and stuff for that, by the way. But like if you're doing it based on loyalty, and you have to hold 10,000 Nike points to sneakerhead points or whatever to get, have access, and you're guaranteed, to be able to purchase this new sneaker that drops. That's way more fair, in my opinion, because you earn those by like purchasing Nike shoes or getting into, you know what I mean? And then like, so they have the value of the token themselves. They have the value of the exclusivity. And then anything else you want to do is just so much versatility that the company can do with these tokens for their users.
No, 100%. It's going to be fun to watch too. I can't wait to kind of see some of the ideas and some of the stuff that people come up with that crypto guys haven't really started yet. I mean, I think
we haven't seen anything yet.
Nothing yet. Stablecoins are used for 800 billion in transaction volume per month, but only about 6% of stablecoin demand is for payments. The remaining 94% is trading, DeFi, and collateral. What do you think about that? 800 billion in stablecoin volume, but only 6% of that is stablecoin demand for payments.
Ooh, so what's the other percentage going to be demand for?
Well, it says 94% is trading,
DeFi.
trading, DeFi, and collateral usage.
Yeah. So, I mean, we got a lot of degens.
Well, trading. Yeah, it just shows you there's a lot of room to grow there. And we're seeing people like Jack Ma, kind of going back to that a little bit, say, hey, we're going to take it for payment. So it's such a small amount of people that are going to be using this in the beginning. But I think, again, you're going to be a lot of loyalty rewards and stuff. So I thought the last two kind of went with this a little bit, because paying in stablecoins in the future are probably going to get you a lot of cash back, because they have your wallet address when you make that payment.
Yeah. Very true.
So. All right. Coinbase partners with Perplexity AI to deliver real-time crypto market data to traders. Perplexity AI is a conversational search engine that uses large language model to process your queries and synthesize web results with line citations and let you ask follow-up questions in context. The Coinbase partnerships to pull real-time crypto data, live prices, and trading metrics into chats, giving traders instant insights. What do you think about this, dude? So now Coinbase has their own AI with this partnership with Perplexity to kind of give that experience to users. They're potentially going to be putting Perplexity AI as one of their like on-site like analysts to kind of help you with anything you need and learn or know right from Perplexity AI.
This is a change of data, a data commerce, I feel like, because previously the likes of Citadel Securities and those type of hedge funds or market make, because they have a branch of a market maker underneath them, they buy the data of the trading activity and stuff like that. So this opens it up to probably a membership subscription or something you got to pay, which I think many smart traders would do that, because now they're going to see the kind of habits and stuff of the data, right? It's going to be able to, it's going to be another part of their toolbox. So this is interesting because now you're not necessarily going up against the big boogeyman in the traditional way. You have some of the access that they had against the entire market. But what is the big bad boogeyman going to like? What is their edge going to be, in the future? That's the thing I'm looking at. It's like if they gave this up, they're probably looking for some other edge to have. But I think this is smart. This is cool. They're probably going to have like a big trader base that subscribes to something like this.
I mean, we're seeing Agent Hustle right now be able to help users on the Solana chain. Can Perplexity AI kind of be that for Coinbase? Could you go to Coinbase and say, go to the little chat bot and say, yo, I want you to buy, me some ADA. I have, $300 in stablecoins, buy ADA with that. Do you think that this is kind of where that is going? Or do you think this is just for like real-time data?
I think it could be heading there. I think initially it's going to be just a real-time data dashboard, right? Where you have to manually do a lot of things. But thinking about like the conditional stuff and automated type of transactions and stuff, it all benefits Coinbase, right? In terms of like the fees, every time like the AI buys and sells, they earn a fee there. So it doesn't matter. It's not, the only part would be what's their involvement in terms of the leverage side, and would they even offer a product on that side? I don't think they would if they have like a lot of involvement there. But yeah, so I think both products benefit Coinbase. One benefits them by growing a larger trader community, consumer base, and the other one, you still have that consumer and trader base, but now you're earning more probably volume. You're getting more volume with an AI.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think you're right on. We'll see though what happens with that. But Perplexity AI, I mean, I think it's a big opportunity for them to kind of seize their moment there, especially when you're dealing with someone like Coinbase for sure. But let's get into some price action. Take a look at some of the top coins here. So we do have Bitcoin, man. It's pushing up a little bit at a 111,500, up only 2% on the 7-day. Do you think this continues here? We're up about 0.25 on the hour, about 2% on the 24. What do you see Bitcoin doing? I mean, we kind of went over it earlier, but
I'm encouraged. This is it's encouraging for sure. I didn't necessarily expect us to kind of bounce back into the mid 111,000 just yet. This is an encouraging sign that there is still some buy pressure here today, even though yesterday was a pretty bullish day. But knocking on the door of 112 is really something that getting to like 111, 800, 900 to me, that's gonna be like, okay, game on again. For today. Game continued from yesterday, basically. And so that's what I'm looking for Bitcoin. And right now, I'm glad that we're back to the mid 111s. This is a good start.
Yeah, I think getting over this would be nice. And then, we do know that a lot of the bigger traders take lunch between 11 and 1, and they get back to their desk at 1. So I'm curious if they're going to continue this upward momentum when they get back to their desk in about 40 minutes, but we will see. But the biggest thing here is Ethereum, right? Sitting at just below 2,800, up 8% on the day. Do you think Ethereum finally passes that $2,800 mark and continues maybe even 3,000? We were talking to Jake Gallen yesterday, and he was saying that once Ethereum gets over 3,000, we might not ever see these type of prices ever again.
Yeah, as long as it can kind of sustain for a couple weeks is what he said, above 3,000, which I agree with. Yesterday, it actually did top 2,800 barely. So that was a good sight to see. Look, the drawbacks have been pretty minimal for Ethereum as Bitcoin kind of drew back yesterday, which, to be fair, Bitcoin was strong as well yesterday on its drawbacks. But the pull back up was just, like, you could tell, is just stronger on the Ethereum side. I've been trading Ethereum a little bit recently because I think everybody's waiting for that pop off, right?
Yeah.
So on the 7-day, you're seeing a pretty substantial gain for Ethereum, at that 8%. The daily sitting at almost 5% strong as well. It's probably the best performing asset in that top 5 there, 10 maybe. It is actually, if you look at every time frame, the 24-hour and the 7-day. Yes, XRP had a little bit better 7-day, but the 24-hour to me is more eminent, right? So it's more like fresh, and so it's showing some aggressive price action as Bitcoin did yesterday. So look, I think Ethereum, there's this anticipation. People are talking about it in mainstream, money shows. You got the Tom Lees, you got those people talking about, was it the Tesseract CEO as well. There's a lot of people talking about Ethereum right now, and before 3 months ago, 4 months ago, there would be a headline slip in here, a headline slip in there. Now you're seeing headlines almost every day about Ethereum. And when we saw something similar to Bitcoin, where a headline ETF every day, or Bitcoin's going here and that, Bitcoin took off. So I think that's what we're anticipating here. And I would not be shocked if we see that in the next week or so, where it kind of starts to take its own trajectory.
Yeah, I hope so, right? Because you are right. Ethereum up 7%, ETH up 8%, right? XRP up 8%, while ETH's up 7%, and then you have things like Solana only up 1%, Sol up 3%. And you have Tron a little bit. You are seeing some of these pop. Sui kind of following that. Stellar up 21%. So we are getting a little bit of that push up by some of these altcoins, which is signaling to me, if Ethereum does hit 3,000, we're going to get an alt season that
They're going to run.
they're going to run hard. Like, it's finally time that we didn't see this last time Bitcoin ran. Last time Bitcoin got to its all-time high of, what was the old all-time high? 108. We didn't see altcoins kind of getting pushed past that, right? We didn't see that at all. Now you're starting to see, especially you're seeing the bigger guys start talking about it too, which makes me think they're done accumulating, right? I mean, they don't talk about stuff until they're finished accumulating, or they don't have enough money to keep accumulating. But we are seeing Bitcoin 101, 116, and then Ethereum kind of 281. So I'm waiting for Ethereum to pop here. I think Ethereum's going to pop today, and I think that some of these altcoins are going to follow it. It's kind of like Ethereum's that green light right now for altcoins to run. We need Ethereum to pump here. I know a lot of these guys are Bitcoin maxis and stuff like that, but as somebody who's holding runes and other products around the season, around the crypto ecosystem, I feel like we need Ethereum to take that leg up here. We need it to bust through. And let's take a look at the Ethereum chart too. It does look ready. I mean, look at the sideways here. Complete utter sideways since May. So since May, just pop up sideways and then pop up. But you look at Bitcoin kind of did the same thing, right? When it finally broke out of here, actually bring that in. So if you put that line right here, right, it did the breakout and then it went sideways and then it popped up. I think Ethereum's about to have that second pop up that Bitcoin had. See, there's the first one sideways pop up, and then you got the first one sideways pop up here. We should head to about 3,500 on this next leg.
I mean, I do think that there's definitely pent up demand for it. And the last time that Ethereum and alts ran was the very start of Q4 of last year, and it was a little bit similar to what we're seeing. They were revving up, right, and they hit this really strong, and it was only the majors too. It was pretty much all just the blue chip majors and some mid caps. And then they hit a wall once Bitcoin kind of like had stopped. And I mean, it was a little bit delayed, so it went a little bit longer, and then it hit a wall. And once it hit that wall, I mean, you're talking about Ethereum hit $4,000 last year.
Yeah.
You know, but then since then it's just been atrocious, right? It's like after that it was like down, and yes, there's been moments of pop up to 2,800, maybe once I think it touched 3,000, but it didn't stay there. So this is the moment right now, July of 2025, where I think most people that have experience in previous cycles and stuff like that, they're saying once Ethereum does take that next jump up, we shouldn't see that same drawdown to where it's like disparity, hopelessness, and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Once it sustains above 3,000, and look, that means that it could range between 3,000 and 4,000 until September or something like that, which I'm completely fine with if it does that. But whenever it gets to September though, and it starts to take off and it gets to 5,000, and then eventually around, you know, between 5 and 6,500, depending on, you know, how aggressive it is to end the year. Yeah, so it's time. And I think you had a pretty good chart too of the ETH Bitcoin chart where it's left the house, hasn't it?
Yeah. So it's something we were paying attention to for a while, and this house was drawn.
Really quick though. Yeah, it's the artist formerly known as Shizzy. He
No, this is Benjamin Cohen drew this, and I copied it. Right. So
gotcha.
It's one of those things where it's just only lines that really matter is this one and this one. This was the all-time low pretty much against Bitcoin, and this was where Benjamin Cohen wanted it to go. Benjamin Cohen was saying ETH needs to go home. ETH needs to go home. Well, ETH went home, and it stayed home for a little while. And as you can see, it's exiting its home now of this box right here. So I'm excited for that because Benjamin Cohen, again, he's been somebody who is always on. He's always on. Always, and he has been right again. But he said he'll get bullish on ETH when ETH leaves home and is officially leaving home.
Yeah. And what was I talking about earlier a second ago about Bitcoin's price? It's at 111,800 right now. So it's starting to try to knock on that door. But yeah, you're right. It did leave home, and Ethereum did leave home. And so is that the indicator for you? Are you confident? No.
Yes, 100%. Like I am 1,000%.
So much that you're taking the house down.
Well, it's not that. It's now I kind of wanted to see the chart, right? So it's kind of like it dropped below it. It had a pop up here, and then it faked out. Like everyone thought that was it. We're leaving home. We're done home. But then it came back in a little bit, and then now it's leaving. So what I'm noticing a lot of the times is when we get these tests of lines of indicators, we usually fail. And then so it's kind of like a fake out almost, and then we come back up again. So but we never. I don't think we continue this fake out. I think we run here, and I think we run hard.
Especially that those were clustered together, and those first three right there, and then you had your kind of it's not going to happen, and this one looks different, right? That rise up now looks like a healthy, strong kind of gradual rise up to where we are.
Yeah, and fully broken trend, right? The trend's been broken for a while now, and we have it up, but we see the same thing on the ETH USD chart, right? It's funny because ETH USD and ETH Bitcoin look pretty much identical, don't they? This is ETH Bitcoin. This is ETH USDT.
Yep.
So it's just kind of showing you that we need to break on USDT, and then we beat the big monster Bitcoin here. So, but Bitcoin is leading Ethereum on the day, which is weird. Well, up 6.2, up 5.8.
We're at 111,957 real quick. You want me to switch it to the Bitcoin chart?
Yeah, let's do it. Wow, we're moving, dude.
Yeah,
might hit the all-time high again.
Dude, that's so crazy because I didn't expect this for sure.
When did that happen? I was just showing 500 like in seconds. Is there news?
I mean, look at this. There the price action. I was just hopeful. I hope this is a bull flag.
It is.
I mean, but on the hour chart, like I didn't expect to see this, right? Like flip like this quick. But look, we are at 111,900, so we did have a little. We're running to some resistance right here. Let me kind of get this line right here. So we wicked up here. So kind of the same where the resistance was the previous time here after hitting that initial all-time high. So our resistance right now is right at the 112. If you look at the price where that wick ended, it is 112.02. So we'll see if we can get back above that. you know, that's kind of where we are here. I can try to pull it down to a little bit of a smaller time frame here and see if we can maybe look at the 15-minute here real quick. Yeah, so the 15-minute shows us a little bit more of what's happening here locally. Well, dang, we bounced right back to 111,950. So
Damn.
I don't know. Like Bitcoin, obviously,
What's
like
the all-time
moves are-
high? 200.
So the all-time high,
200?
it is 112, 153 is what I'm seeing here. So I mean, we're very, very close to the all-time high. If we could break out here and we can get some room, some cushion, man, that would feel great heading into Friday, honestly. And I wouldn't even like if we got to like 113, 500, 114, I'm okay with whatever happens on Friday because I know we're going to revisit that most likely on Sunday. You know what I mean? And so,
Yeah.
oh,
1200,
right
112, 112.
You see 112? I don't see 112.
I saw 1999.
Yeah.
Was the hit there. You're on Coinbase, and I'm using Kraken.
Oh, it's right there though. Right there, we're about to cross over. Goodness, it keeps getting rejected there at one.
There's a lot of stuff. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. It's
Okay,
over.
all right. Let's see.
It's over.
Let's see
It's moving.
Let's move this line too a little
73.
bit here. Let's move this up here. So this was the previous wick here. So let's see if we can beat this all-time high.
And it's early enough to where we continue this all day. It's early enough to where we have 4 hours of straight price action.
Well, what
you all-time high, baby. You all-time high, baby.
Let's go.
We're above. Dude, we're moving too. It's not
we
stopping.
Got to pump it up. Oh, pump it up. We got to pump it up.
Come on. Stay above the all-time high. Stay above.
I feel like we needed this. We needed this today.
I know. We definitely,
come on,
dude. 100%. It got to stay over that 300. You got to stay over. Here we go. We're moving now. I want to see 113, dude. I want to see 113 right here. Got the momentum. Everything's cooking. There's no reason to go back.
Come on, chat. We need some energy. Let's go. Bitcoin's hitting. This is officially all-time high. I feel good. I feel better about this now. I do want to stay up. I want to get to 113, and let's just stay at 113 around there. I mean, this is, to me, this all-time high feels better, doesn't it? Because it's like, I feel like it's like a strong like uppercut right there.
It's not at 350. That was my problem yesterday with the all-time high. I was like, because like a lot of like the bigger hedge funds and stuff like that, they force their employees to close at 4 o'clock. A lot of them don't want you to hold anything overnight. You have to have a really good reason to hold something overnight, meaning from 4 p.m. to 9:30 the next day. So what usually happens is it's an automatic shutdown of 359, and we saw that yesterday. Right, we saw it hit all-time high at 55 and then completely go silent. But now we're at 112, 465 at 12:30, which means there's 3 hours. Dude, you're probably seeing some TradFi guys in New York right now running back to their desks right now.
Okay, so I mean, technically, we're entering like price discovery here because I feel like we've cleared it enough here. As long as this is a 15-minute candle.
Mean, price discovery? Like we're at 112, 454. Like I never understood that.
So to me, it means that like we don't know where we're headed. You know what I mean? Like when it got to all-time high yesterday, it tagged it and really quick retraced. And so for me, like that didn't happen here. You know, so we're still like trying to figure out where we're gonna find that exhaustion at. You know what I mean? And it looks like it's looking pretty strong here.
Why is that called price discovery?
Because
price discovery to me,
you're discovering where the price is going. You're like you're on a mission.
Okay. 112, 500. Dog's moving, bro.
Is it?
Dog is 4.6 on Kraken.
Let's go.
Man, dude, that looks so good. That Bitcoin chart looks so good,
doesn't it? Man, that's just so that made me happy whenever that happened. I'll tell you that.
That candle's insane too. Like there is a wick though.
Yeah, this is a 15-minute. Let me take it back to the 4 hour just opened back up. Remember, I was like, if the 1 hour can get us back here, we can kind of keep this going. So yeah, I mean, this definitely looks pretty strong, dude. We could be, look, we get to 113, man. One 115 could be on the table.
120 could be on the table at this point.
Today?
Like, I don't know, dude. I mean, $8,000 is nothing for Bitcoin. Like, that's only like 3%. That's a very common move. You see the S&P, which is 5 times bigger than Bitcoin, and that can move 3% a day. Well, why can't Bitcoin?
Yeah. I wonder what's going to happen when these guys get back to their desk, if they're going to
push it down or whatever. You do have the Dow Jones. Let's take a look at the TradFi stuff. You have the S&P kind of sitting flat on the day, really not moving, up 0.17 on the day. The Dow Jones up about a half a percentage point, which is a lot for the Dow Jones.
Was there some news?
I don't know. Yeah, gold up 0.13. Farcoin's running, Sui's running. I mean, that's good signs, man. It means Farcoin is the ultimate retail coin. You're not going to see TradFi buying Farcoin.
I say dog. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, dog is hard. You can't say dog because dog's not easy to buy still. Like,
Farcoin, Kraken.
Yeah,
DeFi way. DeFi way is not necessarily easy. Yeah. Wow.
6%.
Dude, wow. It's looking crazy. Yeah. Oh, is it pulling back? There it is. There's the wick.
There we go. There's the wick. Yeah. 112, baby. All right. You want to ready to bring in our guest?
Yeah, let's do it.
Hold on, not yet. There he is. Are you ready, Fonzi? Bring him up. Yo, what's up, man?
Yo, what's up, GM? Yo, I was seeing those charts. They look sexy. They're getting sexier by the minute.
How you been, man?
Good. So how's everything with you guys?
Well, better now. Like that, it always feels really good whenever Bitcoin hits an all-time high during a live stream, because we don't get that opportunity very often to live stream that, right? And it just happened to happen when we were going over all the market, like literally do a market recap or price action and stuff like that, or recap, and it happened. So that was awesome. But so like, what about you guys? Like, Ordinal Hive has been building a lot and stuff like that. What has it been for y'all in this type of market environment? Are you guys just kind of heads down, or what are you guys thinking?
Yeah, I think during this environment, it's like the perfect time to kind of build. The noise is like completely reduced. So all you really do is like build. And like mentioning how much we've come through last year, so for like how much it's progressed over the course of time, it's a pretty good like kind of just benchmark, right? Just seeing like what we reached to where we came from, and so I don't see any other perfect environment to do this stuff here, right? And so like the future of it does look pretty exciting, and during that time we've also like realized the things that we do need to improve to make the overall experience better on Bitcoin, obviously, and the things that we do see looming down like the road, right, down the horizon. So yeah, integrating some aspects there, some elements is quite exciting. And then also she's recap of like Sui and Farcoin. I think those are definitely metrics we can consider, especially Farcoin.
Farcoin is the ultimate retail coin, in my opinion. Like I love dog and everything, but dog's one of those things where if you ask 3 people, like random people, you say, hey, do you know Farcoin? 2 or 3, I think, will say they know what Farcoin is. They heard it on Stephen Colbert, or they heard it on the news or something, right? But like no one, like, that's how early dog really is, right? Dog still has a lot of momentum to grow there. But Farcoin to me is that momentum to kind of see where people are. I think Farcoin's going to get bought out because Farcoin's actually funny. Farcoin is the meme that I've always like thought was, right. My son, he's 11, he thinks farts are hilarious, right? So it's one of those things, right, that where it's like it's that little boy in us that comes out when we see Farcoin. I'm not invested in Farcoin, right?
But would you buy the Farcoin ETF though? That's the question.
That's right.
I would just to show. I'd want that to sky. I would just do it out of spite. Out of spite. That's but I want to dig into Ordinal Hive a little bit. So for anyone who doesn't know, what is Ordinal Hive? Let's start from the beginning. I'm brand new. I'm somebody just watching the show, seeing you for the first time. What is Ordinal Hive, and what is some of your goals and accomplishments so far?
Yeah, 100%. So I think the biggest thing, to kind of give you context, the biggest thing we wanted to solve was sort of the trading speeds, especially on Bitcoin. And how can we do that natively, right? How can we serve trade very similar how you see Ethereum or Solana? So the experience, right, was to create the biggest or the fastest Bitcoin marketplace for pro runes ordinal traders, and we sort of achieve that sort of concept there. And so the idea is like you come to our platform. Obviously, you can see the aggregation itself, which is quite important thing we had early on too, and that's just came from the fragmentation we saw in the ecosystem. So just aggregating like data listings, like all this information from multiple marketplaces, like in one shop, was part of the core concept. And then from that, just building on sort of the faster trading engine, which we'll see in a second. But like that specific motivation, that concept there was one of the most motivating factors we've had. And so, if you want to come to our platform, one of the things that we do kind of emphasize and we definitely are very prideful on is just that we're basically the fastest when it comes to speeds, data, all this stuff.
Yeah, I'm curious. So, what does that mean when you say that you're the fastest? Because we all know that Bitcoin blocks are 10 minutes, right? We're all kind of fighting that. What do you mean when you say you're the fastest?
Yeah, so we'll perform live trades in down the road, but like you come to our platform, you can serve trade fast, right? So like you can buy an asset or show up on your portfolio, and you can instantly relist it, right, for any price you want off the bat without the block having to clear. So that's some cool, exciting parts that we do add just building on that momentum, and also the data too, right? So we pull in data from different like marketplaces, which is I think something that's quite interesting and exciting. So like the speeds are also very, very important. You definitely want to have you want to be the first one to see when something's instantly listed across any marketplace, right? You want to be the first one to sort of see that on your current trading terminal and so forth. So that's some of the stuff that we sort of build and have the foundation for. So when we say like the fastest speeds, we definitely mean the fastest trading speeds and also data itself. So you'll see listings here as they happen in real time.
Gotcha. So that's what. So let's just. So for instance, let's just say I buy this. If I go to Taproot Wizards and I buy a Taproot Wizard, I can buy this, and then before the block time's up, I can relist the one that I just bought.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How are you guys doing that? How is that possible?
There is a process. It's actually embedded with the technology. We're not definitely the first ones to achieve that. We've seen it from the token side of stuff, how it works, and we sort of implemented the logic pending some edge cases, but we implement the same logic and flow on our platform. So the CPFP, right, you can sort of have a transaction and attach attractions to that same one up to 25 times. And it provides a very smooth trading experience if done properly. So for us, I think we do see as markets mature and get better, we'll see kind of the movement towards more institutional grade infrastructure. And part of that institutional grade infrastructure is the speeds, right? So we definitely set the foundation. It's a pretty cool concept, and it really works for basically the marketplace that we aggregate on our platform, and we'll be adding more obviously too. But for the ones that we do have, it's a pretty good experience, right? So we do have a couple more updates that will be shipping very soon to the main one that will make this a lot more seamless and flawless. But as of now, it seems to kind of just do it, the job it's intended to do.
Gotcha. That's insane, man. That's so cool that you're able to do that. I actually didn't even think that was possible. I haven't seen anyone do that either. I mean, I could have been just not seeing it, but I mean, that's really cool. Let's kind of talk about my profile here, right? So I started a profile, and the dashboard, everything here. Walk us through your site a little bit for anyone new who hasn't used it before.
Yeah, so the dashboard, if you go to your dashboard, we can touch base on that real quick. So there's specific missions that we do want to kind of do. Obviously, we're still in season 0, so we'll kind of once season 1 hits, we'll let you guys know. But there's different things you can do in the meantime. Very small task that you can do and engage with the platform to get kind of rewards off that as well. So kind of some of the things that we want to do is we want you guys to kind of engage with the platform itself. Kind of listen to us and maybe trade one as well, so you can experience the speeds, test our different sort of tooling out there too. We do have some pretty cool tools in the platform that I think users would like, and a lot more coming down the road that I think they'll definitely love. And so that's part of the all-in-one stop shop, right? So you want to have that sort of experience in one single platform that optimizes for those speeds, right? And that's pretty much what you want. If you can do that, there's no reason why most individuals wouldn't want to use that, especially if it creates an opportunity for arbitrage, which is what we expect when you have specific speeds. on one versus another, right? So yeah, we do have missions, and obviously referrals are part of that too. So like you can refer like kind of the platform with your friends, and gain sort of like rewards that way too. But yeah, dashboard missions are there. They're pretty much updated every week. And once we officially kind of onboard more users, you'll have much more different type of engaging missions you can do to kind of engage with the platform and just get used to like the flow.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
I mean, you guys have been working on this platform for a good amount of time because you want to get it to where, you can separate yourself from some of the competition. And like, we know builders aren't here to bash other builders or nothing like that. But like, what would you say would give a trader in ordinals or NFTs or even, runes? Because you guys are offering the fungible side as well. What would give a trader like an edge using Ordinal Hive over, the traditional platforms?
Yeah. So the question was like, what gives an edge over other platforms? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think, from the very, like our mission at the very beginning was kind of tackling the trading speed problem issue itself. And so there's different ways obviously to kind of achieve that. Not that we've done that and started the aggregation to kind of building that for just the NFT side of stuff on Bitcoin. I think one of the biggest differentiators sort of like kind of the experience you'll get on our platform versus others. So obviously you have like the faster speeds, you have the faster data, you have the aggregation, which is very, very important. So like now is what can we do to improve that experience? And part of that also like what other additional assets can we include to do that, right? So, from that sort of standpoint there, I do think that there is quite a few things that will be kind of like, determined based off like what the users want and sort of like what the feedback we get from them. But at the end is like the experience has definitely dramatically improved since the last time out that, these assets came out. So like that sort of performance you pretty much didn't see a while back. That's sort of like, kind of, just going to the platform, seeing all data from all the other ones, aggregating into one, the order books, all that cool stuff. Like it's something that hasn't been done. So from there, it's just kind of taking that onto the next level and just providing the infra necessary for like big institutions, big traders, big individuals from other ecosystems to come, and making that very similar to like what they've already experienced right elsewhere. So yeah, I think those are pretty cool things that we're very excited to kind of like be a part of and ship as well.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. That's awesome. So you guys are going to be one of the up and coming projects, and it's coming to the Bitcoin ordinal space. Yeah, the ordinals have been down, right, over the course of the last year, kind of almost in like a bear market. I'm curious to your opinion on ordinals. Curious to your opinion on the assets that you guys are going to have a marketplace for, because you guys have built this for this ecosystem, and just curious to your opinion on the assets themselves.
Yeah. So I think, when it comes down to it, obviously there is specific moments in time where one asset is more in demand than the other. But what exactly is like kind of the roadmap to the future? Obviously there will be demand for some of these assets. Right now there isn't as much as there was before, right? And that's just something that's outside of our control. It's more of an external factor. But setting the foundation up for what can be a trading environment for different asset classes. It doesn't have to be just particularly just Bitcoin assets, for instance, but it could be any sort of TradFi assets or TradFi platform. It's something that I see sort of the future for trading, right? And also this concept of trading on chain. So like we're already seeing companies kind of develop their infrastructure for that. We're seeing kind of projects kind of built towards that too. And this is we're like literally at the stage of the foundation for that, which is a lot much more liquidity coming and a lot more smart money coming in that form, right? So, I mean, there's countless, Web2 projects and even Web3 companies out there that kind of want to do that. Coinbase being one, like Robinhood and others, and we're seeing like different chains being used for that specific purpose there. So for us, like sure, the environment might not be like the best for it, but doesn't mean that there isn't something here for at least kind of like trading assets. And I think the scope has to kind of widen in that sense, right? But there's always going to be a market for some of these specific ones here, and that's just due to kind of the nature of it. And obviously, like there's different factors that kind of make the art culture much different than the token culture. But like with those things in mind, like you have to understand who is the community you're catering to, the group itself, and with that, like building it in that way that sort of fosters that kind of like inclusivity for that group.
Yeah. And the thing is that, like, I know that you guys know that, opening up your product offering is important because, like you mentioned, ordinals aren't going to always be hot. They're like right now, what we experience is they've been down, but there will be a digital art bull market as well. We saw it last cycle, and there's a lot of interest whenever that happens. Typically, we'll go through like the token markets, and that will thrive, and then people will have made money, and they'll want to speculate on digital art. When do you see that possibly happening this cycle? Let's say for example, tokens start to take off, altcoins start to take off September, October. Do you expect art to kind of follow through towards the end of this year, or maybe they'll catch up next year sometime?
Yeah, I think everything's cyclical in some sense. Like obviously, it doesn't necessarily always run in parallel, but like you see kind of individuals, like we've seen the shitcoin cycle, the meme coin cycle kind of happen, and usually then you have like the crypto coins, utility tokens, and so forth. And like usually the last thing to kind of run up are NFTs and like these kind of asset classes. So there is a moment in time for these specific ones here. But by then, like, the experience, the platform, and even other info out there will be ready to kind of like, onboard those users very easily. But the thing is like the interest, demand for it, right? Is this what's demand right now? I don't think it's like the biggest thing that's demand right now, but that's not a bad thing. I think there is, from a trading perspective, there is opportunity there because you'll see some specific assets at a specific price. And obviously there's opportunity when there's situations like that. But like, in certain specific cycles, like NFTs, even the previous one too, like NFTs were like last thing to run up, right? And you've had like some insane kind of price action with those type of assets. So like, yeah, it definitely will come down the road. I think right now the entire eco is facing more of a liquidity and demand issue than anything else. But again, as I said at the very beginning, like, it's a perfect opportunity to build because the noise is just reduced so much more than when if you build during an environment that's highly kind of bullish and you're dealing with all this other factors as well.
Yeah, 100% agree. I think for the longest time since we've been in ordinals and stuff like that, you need the fungibles to run first, right? Fungibles usually run first. People take their profit. They take their profit in ordinals and stuff like that. And I do see that again. I see, people taking profit in Bitcoin, getting into some runes, taking profit in runes and getting into fungibles. But you guys do have a runes, thing here as well. Can you talk about that a little bit? So originally, I only thought you guys would be doing ordinals, but it does look like you guys are going to get into the rune game here. What is this tab for?
Yeah, so those are basically runes. So that tab there is going to, with the most recent changes too that we'll have is like you can trade them live in the mempool faster as well. So like obviously we want to tackle like the faster speeds. We've done it so it's more bulk like. So runes and BRC20s, and there's another tab there for that as well. But like runes BRC20s for the most part trade, at least the experience and why it has been pretty bad on Bitcoins to trade just like NFTs, right? So there is like no distinguishing both. So yeah, we do have the info for that there, but at the end, like that's the reason why we think that the experience or these tokens haven't been the best compared to like other chains. But yeah, like as I said before, like the demand will come eventually. Like I think like Bitcoin is approaching 113K, which is fantastic as we speak. So like when you have that sort of Bitcoin dominance and like when you get down to like 43% Bitcoin dominance, that's when you have other altcoins kind of come up, and that extra liquidity goes onto the next thing and then next thing and so forth, right? So like we'll see the price action for every asset class move down the road, and usually like Bitcoin is a trendsetter, right? It follows that sort of thing. And then how cool would it be if we break an all-time high right now during this episode?
Well, we did already. So we're at 12. What was it? 12.6. So yeah, so the all-time high going into today was 112.200. So yeah, we're popping above it 100%. But back to Ordinal Hive though. So you did mention earlier about these points, right? Coming soon. All your activities are being tracked for season 0. Season 0 is about to end, you said, correct? And we're about to enter season 1. Could you talk about that a little bit, about when that starts and about what season 1 is bringing to the table?
Yeah, so season 1 is when we really have like everything just kind of tied in back to one single place. So we have a couple more things, obviously, announcing when we do announce like season 1 and stuff, like what we're going to have in the platform, additional things you can do with it and specific tooling. But the rewards, like the points there, will have rewards in the future, which will kind of like mention what those are exactly. And season 1 will present like a much more more specific way of how to get those rewards or how to kind of get points for specific actions you do on the platform itself. And so like with that, you know, there's going to be much more engagement in that sense, much more like sort of tooling you can use, right? And just different things you can pretty much do in this platform. So yeah, like season 1 is fast approaching for us, and the expectation is definitely expect that sometime very soon, like within. I don't want to give exact date, but definitely within the summer. I'll say that.
Fonzi, I'm curious, like, what's the one thing, if you had to pick one thing that you're most excited about with Ordinal Hive being rolled out and being used by the masses, what would that one thing be?
So the one thing I'm very excited for is the faster trading. Just the experience there is like pretty much, I'd say is like very much definitely needed 100% in the eco, right? So like we've been used to like waiting for the block times and stuff. And I think a while back, there was a possibility of even trading with the mempool was possible. So like, you know, there was a way to build it like using L2, but obviously that's not something that's ideal. So like the faster trading is one thing that, you know, very excited for. And also the aggregation too, right? Like we worked on this very much, and do so like the experience like has to be just as good on any platform, not just ours. So like, you know, we wanted to make sure that, you know, when you list, you have the opportunity to access the most liquid markets on our platform, right? When you do buy, you can access any listing instantly that hits their platform hits ours too. So you can see off the bat. So like you don't have to navigate to these other marketplaces, but you can simply just kind of be in ours and just see everything happen in real time. So that kind of real time feed is also very exciting, and that's kind of we want to basically optimize and kind of build for.
Yeah, for sure. You know, speed for sure with Bitcoin. Shizzy always talks about it. You know, the 10-minute blocks, and that's if you're lucky, right?
Yeah.
You can run into a 30-minute, 45-minute block easy. You know, that user experience, I think, is the most important thing, and I'm glad that like the crypto industry is really focused on that, and obviously Bitcoin needs to focus on that just because of the tech stack limitations, and you guys are focused on that as well. But is there going to be anything in the future too, like fun gamified stuff that's going to be on the site, you know, to get users engaged and maybe competitions and stuff like that?
Oh yeah, 100%. So the dashboard itself is where it's all going to happen there. We've gamified this platform. Like there's obviously more things that are not showing just yet here. We haven't pushed into production, but like we've gamified the platform, so the experience is completely amazing, right? Every Friday you can expect something to happen. And that's like where the rewards come into place, right? So like, you know, there'll be competitions, there'll be like weekly leaderboard updates, which you can see that live right now. So we definitely wanted to integrate that aspect too and provide that experience to the users, right? So absolutely something that we definitely, it's more something that we want to kind of like the user journey, want to sort of optimize for every single person. So like thinking of all possibilities and what's the best way to kind of engage with the platform, do this XYZ activity. So yeah, obviously those things will kind of be made available, and that's something to expect obviously in season 1 too. So expect those rewards, expect those kind of gamification and sort of features, and everything like the tooling wise, obviously listings, just like pretty much the tooling necessary you need to have an edge will also kind of like be in a sort of in a build in the shipment process that once you go and engage in the platform, it will make sense.
Yeah,
man.
And maybe we can do something on the show too once you start doing the gamified stuff to kind of live stream some of it, just to kind of showcase it. But all right, man, I'm gonna put you under pressure a little bit here. My last question for you: the highest floor price of this cycle, 10,000 collection ordinals. Go. You get to pick one.
Oh dang. Oh wow. Okay, I'm gonna check. So I
no cheating, no cliff notes. No,
okay,
I'm just kidding.
Okay, so it definitely has to be one of the OGs. I'm a huge. I actually like puppets. I think the puppets, where they come and how strongly they performed over the course of the last couple of months, has pretty much impressed me. So I think they'll be up there along with the Node Monkeys.
So you think it's going to be between those two?
I think between those two, yeah. Obviously, Tapper Wizards are up there too, but I mean, yeah.
Well, you said 10K, so it's really there's only what 3 or 4 10K collections.
Well, that are probably in competition, right? So if you're thinking about like so Node Monks, you know how I've always felt about them just because of the early inscription. But you know what? Like you guys both have a good point with the puppets craziness and stuff, because I know Shizzy's talked about that before.
Yeah.
Puppets are 10K, frogs are 10K. Who else is 10K? Well, I think honey
frogs, puppets.
Yeah. Honey badgers aren't really in the discussion though. They're just too low. Are ninjas 10K?
No,
Okay.
100,000.
The frogs, yeah, ninjas.
Gotcha.
OMB is going that way. OMB is they will be 10K. They're not
So
10K
OMB's
yet.
tough though, because like I mean, if they get to 10K, technically like their blue eyes and red eyes are going to be a part, and the green eyes are going to be a part of the 10K collection. What's the most expensive one? Is it red? Or sorry, green or blue?
Red's the number one, and then green, right? And blue, yeah, something like that.
Yeah, so if they get to 10K, I think that's a little unfair because the way they do it, they kind of just keep adding to it. But at the end of the day, like 5 years down the road, newbies that like buy into that collection, they won't know. They'll just be like, they'll have to learn the history, you know. At that point, yeah, I think they'll be considered obviously like the highest floor price. But going to kind of general, I'm gonna put it on the Node Monks, man, just because of that early inscription. I know puppets are crazy, but Shizzy, what do you think?
Yeah, no monkeys are trash right now. Like, in my opinion, just for the sense of who do you know who has a node monkey on the timeline? Like 4
100.
people.
No, I'm just kidding.
Like 4 people like are on Twitter right now with a node monkey, and half of them are like, "Yeah, I need to change it."
Fonzie has a node monkey.
I'm just saying, Fonzie's one of the 4 people. I love Fonzie, but he's one of the 4 people. But like for me, it's just like you're just I can go on timeline right now and see 11, 12, 14 puppets, right? Easily. And just no monkeys just aren't there anymore. I just think that the early inscription number, it won't be a thing this cycle, maybe next cycle, but I just don't think rare sats and early inscriptions are going to be prioritized. I think it's going to be more of coins and stuff like that, but I could be wrong, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you have a good point about maybe not this cycle, but okay, puppets don't have the crazy rares, do they?
They do.
No. Do they?
Some do, not as no monkeys, if you like want to consider.
Yeah. So would you rather have an alien or a rare puppet?
Man, I mean, alien's nice.
Alien. Come on, alien. That's an easy one.
For me, I would sell my rare and buy floors. I think having rares isn't as profitable as having floors. I think, if you can sell a node monkey alien and get 5, 6, node monkey floors, I think that'll be more profitable for you, because I think the floors go up. But they're hard to sell, so they're not liquid at all. Finding someone to buy an alien is like a month process.
Well, right now probably longer than a month, but like whenever ordinals were even hot, I think it took probably like a month. But they sold it for what 500, 600K. Yeah. So when people have money, those aliens, man, those could go for milli.
I think my end of prediction cycle is like, it's the end of the cycle once MicroScaler buys one. And I think
that would be funny. Yeah. We'll see. Well, we know at the end of the cycle, and people are saying, what MicroScaler doing? Why did he pay $700K for a Bitcoin? I think that'll be that was it. But Fonzie, man, it's been absolutely awesome having you, man. Really appreciate your time. We'd love to give you the stage one last time and talk to the audience.
Awesome, appreciate you guys. Great show out there, and do like the fact that Bitcoin's literally almost 113 is like is it the start?
Bullish.
Yeah, it's bullish. Is this the start?
Well, yeah, this is the start, I think, to 130. The start to 130 that will probably end, I think, either towards the end of this month, but who knows? I'm not Nostradamus or any fortune teller, but that's what a lot of people that have been following the M2 global supply has been saying, between 115, 120, 115, 130 by the end of this month. And if that's the case, then Ethereum has to catch up too. And we're talking probably getting to 3,500, 4,000, I think pretty easily as well.
Yeah, I agree. So guys, go check out ordinalhive.io. Fonzie, give me a reason to come here right now. Just give me the reason. Why do you want me to go to Ordinal Hive right now?
You want to stack up those high points. You don't want to miss out on what's going on in the future. So stack up the rewards are coming fast, and like you promised, like the experience, it's gonna be mega incredible, and just don't want to miss on those rewards.
Absolutely awesome, man. Thank you so much, Fonzie. We'll see you next time.
See you guys. Cheers.
Take it easy.
Absolutely awesome. Fonzie is one of those guys, man. Like we always say, he's one of the OGs in the space for sure. Just really appreciate him and his time.
Yeah, absolutely. He took his passion and went to the lab, the BTC startup lab, and developed Ordinal Hive, right? And the guy has put his entire blood, sweat, and tears into this platform. And, we know that it's going to be amazing to use that platform. There's trader tools and etc. over there. So you get an edge by using that because Magic Eden doesn't really give you that kind of stuff. So with that being said, any other news stories we need to hit on? Or
no, we hit them. I had to go into the coin market cap earlier. That's how much news stuff I had today, but that's it today.
Yeah, at least Bitcoin hit new all-time high when we did that, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, 100%.
Yep. And thank you guys for checking us out. I know it's a little bit of a slow Thursday, or at least it was. Now the Bitcoin's hit a new all-time high. People are getting excited. I want to give a shout out here to Vision of Tomo back in the chat. Haven't seen him in a long time. He says Bitcoin is going to zero. And then the hearts because he loves us. And he says approaching 113. But yeah, it's good to see you back in the chat, Vision of Tomo. Don't be a stranger. Come back and drop some comments in there. But thanks to all of you guys, all 214 plus the people on Abstract and Rumble and all the other channels. We try to get out to the masses through other channels as well, to try to onboard as many people to crypto and the Bitcoin ecosystem. But we thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Without you guys, we couldn't do this, and we love to do this. This is our passion. But also, our partners help us out as well to allow us to do this. So if you could check them out, we would greatly appreciate it. Sats Terminal is the DEX aggregator swap for the Bitcoin ecosystem. If you're looking to swap for runes, it's very simple. Go to satsterminal.com. You can swap for Doggo to the Moon there, $1 billion cat, the other popular runes as well. And you can swap for Alkanes as they have added Alkane support. Also, you're going to earn Amber points, and Amber points are going to be like XP that the platform is going to give back to early adopters that use the platform there. Really simple, straightforward, straight to the point. Earn Amber, use Sats Terminal, go to satsterminal.com to do so. And then Emblem Vault is the interoperability tooling for the Bitcoin ecosystem. Look, you're going to be able to jump your ordinals from Bitcoin layer 1 to, Ethereum, other Bitcoin, Ethereum layer 2s like Base, Abstract, and Merlin, which is a Bitcoin layer 2. As well as Solana. And then also Solana, you can use their AI agent Hustle, which is an AI assistant, basically. You can go to Hustle, ask them to help you out, find some good winners in the Solana ecosystem. They'll bring back some information for you, right? So use them as a tool in your toolbox. They're going to be adding the conditional trading, which is awesome. I'm excited about that. You can actually be like, hey, buy Solana when it pulls back 20% from right now, and then sell whenever I hit a 50% profit. So really simple, straightforward, guys. You want to use Hustle because it's free right now. Eventually, you're going to have to hold some Hustle token to have access, but there's going to be a free version always, they said. So the team wants to make sure that everybody has some access to Hustle. By the way, you only have a couple days left to transfer your Tensor token to the Hustle token. So make sure you go to migrate.fun to do that. It's really simple. Watch our tutorial video in our library on YouTube on how to do that. If you're a project from Pump Fun and you have your LP locked or Believe app, reach out to the team. They'll help you kind of migrate out of those areas, just like Hustle did. And then lastly, Emblem Vault is launching a TGE for their Bitcoin rune in September, October. You can go to OpenSea right now, participate in a pre-sale, buy the NFT, and then once you start Founder Vaults, and you can see the NFTs there. You can buy those, and then you can get the Bitcoin wallet, which is locked in those vaults, unlocked during TGE. You'll be able to have access to, I believe it's 2 million runes or a certain percentage. They'll give instructions once it gets closer to that. Head over to emblem.vision. You can learn more there. And then Artura.finance. These guys are about, actually, I think we can announce they did launch their private main. Maybe not. It's coming up very, very soon, any day. But you're going to be able to trade synthetic Bitcoin fungibles there, like Doggo to the Moon, $1 billion cat, Ordi, Sats, those lovely Bitcoin fungibles that you can't trade anywhere else. You're going to be able to trade there. But also you're going to be able to trade the popular fungible tokens outside the ecosystem, XRP, Tau, Ethereum, and of course, lovely Bitcoin will always be available there. But if you're not a trader, you can add liquidity to the vaults and help make the platform more formidable and strong. And you can earn XP throughout the entire process. As long as you're doing transactions, you can earn XP. And since they're launching on Botonics, you're going to be able to earn by your transactions on the Botonic side. And Botonics is doing a points kind of adding your transactions up to give, I think they're doing Bitcoin airdrop or something like that. So make sure you take advantage of that. And then eventually, shortly after, they're going to be launching on Hemi Bitcoin Layer 2, which is backed by Binance Labs. They're going to have a co-promotion incentive program there too as well. Head over to Artura.finance, get familiar with the platform, be ready to trade those Bitcoin fungibles. And if not, you can add liquidity to the pools, like I said, and earn passively there. And then Fluid Tokens. Fluid Tokens is the UTXO Wizard devs. They were the first to offer retail staking vaults on Bitcoin Layer 1. They did Dog Season 1 and Season 2 for Dog Go to the Moon, staking Dog to earn more Dog. They're going to do a Season 3, but it's going to be a little mixed up here. They're going to allow you to stake certain alkanes to earn Dog, and then stake Dog to earn certain alkanes. They'll put more information out as they get closer. It's going to be towards the end of this month, beginning of August. So make sure you're staying tuned there and follow their X account so you can get that update. And then on the Cardano side, you can add liquidity to their Aquarium platform. So they have different tokens that you can utilize instead of ADA for gas, and you can earn Babel fees when people use your liquidity there. So it's a way to kind of earn passively there. Really cool. This team is awesome. They are building on both of these chains here and doing some great stuff on Bitcoin for sure. Head over to fluidtokens.com. And then Tokyo Wallet is the multi-chain smart wallet. They are focused completely on UI UX, which is smart because that's what everybody should have been doing years ago, but they have been doing it since they started their project here. If you have an iPhone, head over to the Apple App Store. If you have an Android, head over to Google Play, download the app, and you can trade for runes directly in their app. On the Bitcoin side, they partnered with Sats Terminal for you guys to be able to buy Dog Go to the Moon and other runes. And on the Cardano side, they partnered with Dex Hunter for you guys to buy other Cardano fungibles, right? They also have their token, which you can actually stake. Staking is live today. So you can actually stake.
Well, not yet.
Well, there's two. They did. They announced it, yeah, on their account, but there's two different parts. The first part is I believe a different APR than the second one. So head over to their X account. You can learn all about the information there. And then there's a little alpha section here. They want it to be a one-stop shop, guys. Head over to Tokyo.io. You can learn more there. And then Merlin Chain, uniting Bitcoin strength through the power of AI. They also have an AI tool called the Wizard, and they have the latest version, 0.3 version out. And what the Wizard's going to do is it's going to allow you to get information about Merlin Chain's ecosystem. And you can also have DeFi actions done on your behalf by the Wizard as well, like staking and swapping. But version 4, which is going to come out very soon, you can actually ask questions to the AI about other chains, other ecosystems. Give me the top 5 whales in the Solana ecosystem. Let me see what they're holding. And the Wizard's going to be able to pull that back for you. So it can be very useful. But if you're looking to help secure the chain, you can go to merlinchain.io and go to their staking option. There's 3 staking options there. The first one's BTC. You stake BTC to earn more BTC, and you can earn a minimum of 8%, maximum of 21%. It will close at 100 BTC. There's 67 BTC in there right now. So really cool. Awesome. It's not every day that you find options to stake BTC to earn more BTC. So Merlin has added that to their proof of stake. And then there's 2 other options for the Merlin Chain token. The first one's called the Flexible, which is a day-to-day. It does take 7 days to withdraw that though, but you earn 15% APR and you can actually claim your rewards every single day. So that's really cool. And then also the Bonded is a 6-month lockup period and you earn 45% APR. So obviously the APR is more juicy. You lock it up longer. You can claim those rewards every single day as well. Merlin Chain is doing big things every single day, strengthening their brand. Head over to merlinchain.io. And lastly, don't forget about our integrated partners, Jungle, formerly Foxy AI, building the metaverse on Bitcoin called the Bitverse, and their first-person shooter game called Cypher Striker. And they just added support to Bitcoin Derby, a racing game. And then Ordinal Hive, we just had our guy Fonzi on from Ordinal Hive. They are going to be the one-stop shop. It's an aggregator ordinal marketplace, guys. Imagine SaaS Terminal, but with ordinals. And they're going to have amazing trader tools. One of the trader tools we didn't really hit on too much today is the live mempool insight. So, someone fat fingers a node monk, sells it for $20. You can see it right there in their platform. Try to grab it. So that's pretty cool. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us this entire time. We love and appreciate you guys.
Yeah, man. And the token staking isn't live yet, but it's going to be going live really soon. They said it should be live really soon. So, but we'll see. We'll see if that gets live today. Hopefully it does. But guys, if you have some time, go check out OnChainRevolution.io. We have some of the best articles dating all the way back to 2023. If you know someone just entering the space, please send them our website. We really feel like I'm helping get started and caught up to where we are today. If you guys need a VPN, we have the #1 VPN that is NordVPN, guys. Go get a VPN. If it's not Nord, get something else. But don't be going to these websites without a VPN on. You don't want to give your IP address, which could lead to your address. If you go to these sites, they know you're in the crypto, right? And that's a problem. So you definitely want to make sure the VPN on. If you go to Nord's website, they're gonna make you pay $11. But you go to our site, we're gonna get you in for $3.39. Lock it in for 2 years because that's the maximum you can do, and you won't have to worry about ever paying that $11.59 until the 2 years is up, and then you'll have to get another email. And then you can kind of get back in the discount. But make sure you guys, if you lock in for 3 months, you're gonna get that for 3 months. Then if you use that same email, they'll make you pay $11.59. But definitely lock it in if you can, and get a VPN and get it from us today, guys. So really appreciate you checking that out. And check out our merch. Some of the best merch in all of crypto. Check everything out: hats, jackets, hoodies, and so much more here at OnChainRevolution.io. And guys, we're live Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Pacific, and 3 p.m. UTC. Check us out all week, guys. Until tomorrow.
Peace.
OnChain Revolution roll call. Market recap. You're not bullish enough, no. You're not bullish enough, no. Look at the price go. Bitcoin control. Why you still coping? Price action rolling. Don't fall for bear trap. Swapping indexes and putting it up in the sex. I can take profit right now. OnChain is where I be now. You can never look back. They don't want you to know. How did the market react? Fear and greed, gotta adapt. Now we bridging the tokens and marching the network right now. You know how crazy we are. Nookies are savages now. They know how crazy we are. Chain abstraction, main attraction. OnChain Revolution.